deflect the attack back at him.
That you'll launch. Things that people look at, like what's part of
We didn't really miss nothing new that hasn't been announced.
classes.
Right.
This is one.
I've been scrubbing through this thing to see. It's like some Diablo stuff. We missed like some yapping in the beginning. It wasn't yapping about nothing new though.
A huge noise. They've just
missed some gameplay.
turned up going to see what's happening and found you
Stalker 2.
a player and a portion of hit points.
See, that's why
You had.
And that's about it. So we didn't really miss.
Manager Caitlin Jones, welcome to Gamescom.
Thank you,
Maxie.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How's Cologne treating you? All good?
I love it here.
Yeah,
Amazing.
first time in Gamescom. This is pretty exciting.
Oh wow, first time.
Yeah.
Okay, the full week ahead of you. I can't wait for you to see it. So I can't believe the Xbox Adaptive Controller launch is 6 years ago. But you didn't stop there. So what's new in the world of gaming and accessibility?
Yeah, thanks, Maxie. So as you saw, we just announced our Xbox Adaptive Joystick. It's a wired controller that is designed to be a companion for our Xbox Adaptive Controller as well as other Xbox controllers. And that will be available to customers in 2025, early on in 2025. As well as our Xbox Adaptive toppers that you can create with Xbox Design Labs. And these are really great, I think, especially for players who might have some difficulty using the thumbsticks on their controllers. They can choose from different shapes, customize the sizes, the height, and the width, and attach them to their adaptive joystick as well as their Xbox Wireless or Elite Series 2 controller, and really customize the way that they interact and grip with those thumbsticks on those controllers to meet their unique needs. So overall, we're just really excited to continue to expand the ways that players can play the games that they want to play and also how they want to play. But it doesn't just stop with our Xbox accessibility offerings. We also have some really fantastic partners through our Design for Xbox program, including BioWave and 8bit2, who are also announcing some exciting accessibility news today.
And with everything in your line of work, the feedback from the community is crucial. And the gaming and disability community was also instrumental in feedback for creating the joystick. Can we hear more about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And certainly at Xbox, we are firm believers in the saying nothing about us without us, meaning we do not create accessible devices or features for the disability community, but rather we need to create them with the disability community. They are collaborators and they're the experts in their own experiences and needs. So from very early on with the adaptive joystick, we had our disability community be hands-on with early designs and functional prototypes, and I know Chris will share a little bit more about that on the hardware design side. But even from a software perspective, we really heard from our players that they wanted an affordable joystick for their adaptive controller so they can easily find that and have that as a resource to them, but also something that fit in seamlessly with their existing setups. So we knew it was important to create something that was highly customizable. You can remap all of the buttons on the joystick, you can create different profiles. You can connect it to your Xbox Adaptive Controller for a full adaptive setup, but you can also use it without your Xbox Adaptive Controller. You can plug it directly into your console or PC and use it alone, or employ Xbox Controller Assist to link it with another controller and kind of play that way. So all in all, the disability community's involvement is absolutely critical in everything that we do, and we're so grateful to have them as co-collaborators and designers in these processes.
So many options. So how did the community's feedback inform the final design of the adaptive joystick?
Yeah, like Caitlin mentioned, we're always looking for that feedback. And for this device in particular, we actually visited a hospital in Seattle that uses gaming as therapy for some of their spinal injury patients. So what that means is we went there with a box of prototypes, got feedback on the grip size, the shape, the number of buttons, where the buttons were located. they liked some of the stuff, they didn't like some of the stuff, and that's exactly why we're there. One of the most important things that we took away from that meeting was the importance of having the controller be mountable. Lets you put it in a lot of different positions, hold it stable if you're not able to hold the controller in your hand. So we added this threaded insert here that's the same one you'd find on a camera tripod or actually on the adaptive controller as well. And so that really allows you to use non-hand body parts with the controller easily. So we took that feedback and then used it to iterate on the design.
Wow. And just curious, how does that process look like of creating? Do you 3D print prototypes? Do you mold? What do you do?
We do both of those things. Usually, I like to start making something that goes in your hand by making it by my own hands. So we'll take a block of foam, carve that away. We'll take a 3D print, add clay to it, and then sand it away. And I'm doing this in the design lab, in the workshop in my garage. And we're just really iterating constantly to get the feel right, to get the ergonomics right, the position of the buttons right. We usually start with a very primitive form and then add those details throughout the design process. One of the other things that's really important from my perspective as a designer, and this maybe sounds obvious, it's an Xbox controller. It should look like an Xbox controller. So many of the adaptive products that gamers have to use, they might look like hospital equipment or something you have to use rather than something you'd want to use. Like Xbox makes cool products. We want our gamers to want to use the products, and so using the same form language, the same color, material, and finish really helps it feel like a part of the Xbox family, and that goes a long way in removing some of the stigma that's associated with using adaptive products, and that's a really important thing that I think design and Xbox brings to the table here.
Yeah, it looks very well next to the adaptive controller, traditional Xbox controller, so good job. Good job. One question. So I heard the rumor that the idea of the 3D printable topper files came from an internal hackathon event. Is that true?
That is true. Very similar to the Xbox adaptive controller years ago. The adaptive thumbstick toppers were born from a hackathon project. So hackathon is a week where Microsoft employees get to take a break from their day job and work on a passion project. And this particular team was inspired by really the high cost of adaptive accessories and doing custom setups like that. So knowing that 3D printers are a lot more available for at home or as a service, they combine these two ideas to create a great range of products that offer gamers a lot more options to customize their setup just to exactly what they need.
And so much goes into the creation of these accessibility offerings, and especially what did the development for the 3D printable files for the adaptive thumbstick toppers look like? Who did you work with?
Yeah, very similar to the adaptive joystick and all of our other accessibility offerings. We, again, partnered directly with the disability community, specifically a lot of hospitals and gaming accessibility charities that were doing a lot of 3D printing work. So we worked with them directly and kind of just asked, what are the most common shapes and designs that you all are creating or that you find work best for your players? And that's actually what informed the final 6 shapes that we have available today. So very direct, working with them and getting that feedback. Something that we also learned, though, by working with them is that, not everyone needs a full-on adaptive setup. Sometimes just minor modifications to how you interact with your thumbstick can be the difference that allows someone to play longer, more comfortably. It can also be the difference whether you can play all together. So based on that, we did want to create something that was available, discoverable, and easily customizable for customers, because through working with our disability community, again, more and more learnings nonstop, always coming in. We did learn that, not everyone has access to easily connect with these hospitals or these more tech-savvy maker communities or charities that are customizing these designs and printing them. And also not everyone at home knows how to 3D model and customize their own shapes at home. So with the Xbox Design Lab platform, it's as simple as picking your shape, using sliders to adjust the height and the width of those shapes, and you're given a free 3D printable file that you can then take to a printer. If you have access to, you can use a 3D printing service, and it's as simple as customizing from there with no 3D modeling knowledge required.
I love that. But what I love more is that you not only support the community with creating accessories, you also support partners, third-party developers in bringing their designs to life. So can you share about a little bit more who you're partnering with?
Yes. And I will say I am just personally so grateful and excited that we do have so many Design for Xbox partners who are just really committed to making gaming for everyone. Some of the specific partners that we've been working with recently on the accessibility front are BioWave. So back in May, they announced their Proteus controller, which is a modular controller that allows you to really build your own unique setup that works best for you. And very exciting today, that controller is now available. In addition to BioWave, 8BitDo is both announcing and available today their Lite SE wireless controller. So all in all, when it comes to accessibility, a rising tide floats all boats, and we're just excited that our players have more and more options within the Xbox ecosystem to really choose what works best for them.
That's a lot of great news that you have today. So is there any place where we can look up all of the accessibility offerings?
Yes, to find out more about any of this accessible hardware that we've just talked about today, you can see the Xbox Wire blog post. Or if you happen to be here at Gamescom like us, you can visit us in the Here to Help area in the Xbox consumer booth. You can get hands-on with any of the products, do some live demos. And if you're here on Friday, you can see Caitlin in a discussion panel in the community area as well.
Thank you so much to both of you for coming. And also I want to say thank you so much for making our booth accessible so everybody feels welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Maxie.
Yeah.
Coming up, we'll get a look at the first expansion from Starfield, find out what happens when nuclear disaster and the quaint British countryside converge in Atomfall. And Age of Mythology fans, stay tuned. We'll take a look at what you can expect from the latest in the series. But first, it's time to explore ARY26 once again in Revenge of the Savage Planet.
Stuck on a planet with nowhere to poop?
The juiciest burgers in the galaxy. Burger Squirt.
Wacky Extreme Learning Smartbot from Hot Whiz.
I smush it down my throat.
Our new Ding Dong!
Greetings, brave explorer. We here at Alta Interglobal would like to welcome you to our newest venture, the colonization of space. You've spent almost a century hurtling through the universe in cryosleep, ready to begin your work on this strange alien planet. Unfortunately, changing market conditions have led us to the realization that space exploration is far too costly and unpredictable, and Alta has decided to cancel all future plans in space. I regret to inform you that you have therefore been made redundant. Your final check has been sent. We thank you for your service, and we hope you eventually find a way home. Good luck.
What started as a journey to the Savage planet has turned into revenge. Here with more on what fans can expect from Revenge of the Savage Planet, please welcome producer Noémie Lecourier and creative director Alex Hutchinson. Thanks so much for joining us.
We're very happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
How's your Gamescom going so far?
Very good.
Very good. Busy.
Yes.
It always is. There's so many games to play, so many things to see. But Alex, it's been a journey getting here, and not only to the sequel to fans, but also to evolve the game as a whole. Can you unpack that for us?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty crazy half a decade for not only us, but for the entire games industry. So we originally began as a studio called Typhoon Studios. We made Journey to the Savage Planet. We were acquired by a large multinational. The pandemic happened.
Yeah.
We updated the game, and on the day we shipped, that same multinational made us all redundant. So we found ourselves sitting around trying to figure out what to do. But luckily, we decided to reform. So we're a new studio, Raccoon Logic. And we've made this new game, Revenge of the Savage Planet.
Yeah, and Noémie, can you kind of talk about the world that we live in with Revenge of the Savage Planet? Have we got the gameplay that we can push up? But
before that,
I think Alex is going to talk about
before that.
Yeah.
So obviously some of the big changes are that we've switched to third person in this one. It's still a game about exploring the world, interrogating everything that you see. It's filled with wonderful, wacky, weird creatures. It's 4 planets now instead of 1 planet. So there's lots more to do and lots more to see.
Yes, so we basically can survey, scan everything, collect and catalog. Here, as you explore the world, you're going to discover rewards, things to collect as well. The rewards are blocked by encounters with alien creatures, as well as puzzles and navigation challenges. So lots of fun here.
Yeah.
It looks so cute. Like even the trailer, but in the trailer beforehand, it's like all the creatures. It's like adorable.
And you know it's a sequel when you're swimming.
Just it happens every single time.
Every
You've got
time.
to add water in. If you go in, no water.
Exactly.
Second time thing. But Alex, there's obviously a ton of creativity by the team to produce an incredible world. But perhaps players' take on its obstacles can be equally as creative. So in the world, like how are players going to approach the obstacles that they face?
Yeah, so we've taken a really systemic approach to open world design. So it's still a Metroidvania. You're still being blocked by different obstacles. You need to go back to your habitat and upgrade your tools to get through them. But what we wanted to do was have a Metroidvania where there's a single lock, but multiple keys. So you see different types of objects. Say if it's a cracked wall that you need to blow up, you could do it with a grenade. You could find a creature that explodes. Anything that generates an explosion will get you through. And so hopefully, as you see in this video, there's a little bit more systemic chaos than most games of its type.
So there's lots of creative ways to kind of like solve the problem.
Exactly.
So you can have a bit of fun with it, and every time you play it as well, you're going to get those different experiences.
Exactly.
Another way players can make their game their own is through customization. You know what I mean? Can you talk us through customization?
Yes, absolutely. So we've added tons of new outfits in the game. You can mix and match between the different outfits. So whether it's the helmet, the boots, or the gloves, all the outfits are inspired by sci-fi themes, famous like Star Trek. Here we can see some of the suits here, as well as like Power Rangers. So
if you put on the red shirt, you get killed immediately in the game, but you reprint.
What have you got wrong with the red shirt?
It's just a trope. It's just a trope.
You also have a habitat where you will find all the main modules, like you see here, the PC that you will use throughout the game. But there's also another section that you can fully customize with lots of things. So as you explore the world, you will find Alta crate containing Alta bucks you can spend in the Alta store on furniture, accessories, and basically a lot of useless junk to really make the space your own. So I hope players have a lot of fun with that.
It's like my own flat all over
there
again.
You go.
Just lots of stuff from Gamescom will kind of like come with me. By the end of it, I'll have plushies for days. But co-op is such a big part of the game as well. Can you kind of talk us through that, Alex?
Yeah, so a lot of the team members have worked on different 2-player co-op games, whether it was Army of Two or Far Cry 4. We've had a lot of success with it. We think it's an intimate way to play with your best friend, your partner, your kid. And this time we've made sure you can do it in any way you can imagine. So there's not only network co-op, but there's split-screen co-op you can play on the couch, and even cross-play, so you can play on any system with any other system.
I love playing split-screen games as well. Like I grew up playing with my brother. Like every single game that we get our hands on to do split-screen, that was always the way I went and played.
Perfect.
Yeah, also, it's so good you've been able to return to this franchise and bring tons to the fans. This game looks so fun, it feels like fun and went to create. Alex, can you tell us what you think the magic is for this game and what makes fans love it so much?
I think it's humor. You know, you see a lot of games that are very grey, very brown, very serious, and we wanted to get back to a world that was fun, that was upbeat, that was optimistic. We like the idea of exploring space because it's fun, and you're going to find something exciting. You're not going to find Matt Damon on the moon, you know, eating poop mushrooms or Mars. So, like, hopefully people see that the humor in this is in the gameplay as well as the script, you know? That the joke we always tell is that, you know, I can write a one-liner that's funny once, but slapping your best friend to their death off a cliff is funny forever.
Yeah, you can just kick him off in as many creative ways as possible.
Exactly.
Like, just trying to get through that cracked wall. But also, really importantly, when a player is going to be able to get their hands on the game.
So it's going to come out sometime next year, 2025. For more info, you can go on the website, Savage Planet Game, and the wishlist as well, now.
Please wishlist.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't wait to come and have a go with it as well. So Thank you so much for joining us as well. And have you got any final words as well that you want to share with fans?
No, we just please wishlist on whatever platform you like, and we'll show you some more gameplay soon.
No, honestly, Thank you so much. But
Thank
coming
you.
up, we've taken a spin in some new wheels and a turn with a new story in Starfield's first ever expansion, Shattered Space. But first, check out an action-adventure game about hope, robots, and the power of words. This is Dustborn.
We need to stick together. We need to be a crew.
We're on the run from people with space guns built into their arms.
Dustborn isn't about making the big and immediate choices. It's about the little things that add up over time. The words spoken that affect relationships and moods, the decisions that stick with you and play out when you least expect them to, the actions that push your relationships in new directions.
I guess this explains why you're suddenly so eager to chase after the robots.
Oh, keeping secrets again, huh?
It's about making tough choices, about how to deal with the people in your crew, how to manage them and pull them together to do the job, and to make the compromises necessary to reach the end of the road and your own personal goals.
We'll be taking a different route north, through Liberty, Oregon. Before
Liberty? I would actually like an explanation.
I concur.
Think of the game as a way to write your own comic book as you play. Each chapter or issue starting with a new cover displaying what you're about to experience, and each of them ending with a comic splash screen. These pages present key choices made in the previous issue that could have an impact later on. Whether a dialogue line or event plays out because of a choice made by the player, an icon will appear in the top right corner of the screen, allowing you to really get a sense of what could have gone differently.
Stop it! What the hell, Pax?
What now?
Drive.
In the comic splash, you'll have access to more data, such as global stats about how many other players received this particular consequence, allowing you to gauge how popular this choice was. Some choices lead to crew mood change, which can have an impact on your relationship with them, but also on their personal endings.
Are you just gonna hover?
We didn't finish our chat.
No, we were finished.
I'm worried about you, and I had more to say.
I'm sure, but I was done.
Every key crew member in the story receives one of 3 endings, or codas, based on choices made and actions taken by the player and Pax. Each coda is illustrated by a comic book style splash screen, along with unique dialogues and events reflecting each character's current status. The player can at any time access the character codex to see which coda is the current favorite.
The crew respects you. When you're unhappy, they feel it. I'll keep that in mind.
Whenever a dialogue choice or action affects a coda, the screen will display a coda emoji, along with an animation that tells the player how important this choice was. It'll be up to you to decide how the road trip goes and how your relationships will evolve. Will Noam break away from their on-again, off-again relationship with Pax, or embrace it? Will Theo loosen up with the crew, or favor his boss status? Will Ziggy resolve her sister issues with Pax? Discover how it all unfolds in Dustborn. Available now.
What's the name of your band?
We're the Dustborn.
There is a dream that haunts me. A most dreadful nightmare, truly. It tears at me. The fortress of stone and valor, which I struggled to build, is now slowly crumbling into ruin. The land, caught in a perpetual autumn, yields to decay. A futile sacrifice remains ensnared deep within the horns of the south. A shield, now weakened and cracked by time, fails to protect my people. A profound betrayal has befallen those most loyal, yielding only despair. I am left paralyzed, powerless. Not more than a witness. My people, my legacy, everything is collapsing. They hailed me as the once and future king. Only now do I understand the horror of that title.
It's one of my favorite massive open world space adventures, and it's just got its first ever expansion coming up. With more on Starfield Shattered Space, please welcome lead creative producer Tim Lamb. Hi Tim, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Nice to meet you, Bex.
Awesome, it's lovely to speak to you today. So let's chat opening night live. We had a really fun look at a very vibey trailer about some vehicles. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
I can. So we released the Rev 8, super excited. The team is so happy to have this new element that adds to planet exploration in the game. So, we have these dynamic worlds with, dense terrain, lots of very interesting obstacles. And now those worlds are our playground to drive around on.
Heck yeah.
We have a lot of... In navigating that, we have vertical boost, forward boost, we have a weapon on there. It's a lot of different minute-to-minute, just fantastic gameplay opportunities for players.
Yeah, super exciting. And Vasco looked like he was having a good time as well in the back there. Love that. Now, let's talk a wee bit about the story in Shattered Space. It's very dark and mysterious. Could you tell me and everyone watching a little bit more about the story?
Yeah, so I think there's a hopeful optimism in the giant sprawling adventure of Starfield. You go to a lot of different locations, you meet a lot of different types of people, the cast of characters there, and Shattered Space, that tone, that mood, we were able to sort of distill it down and focus it into a location in the game around Dasra City. So we get to meet that new House Varun, the people there. There's a moment of strife that they had. We get to experience that with them now.
Yeah, they sounded a bit intriguing, shall we say, in the footage that we saw last night. So can you tell us a wee bit more about the House of Varun and kind of who we'll be coming across?
So I don't want to... No spoilers.
Sure.
You encounter a derelict star station, and this starts you on your adventure to meeting the Varun. You end up in their home world, Varun Kai, in the city of Dasra. There's been a catastrophic event. You deal with the minor houses of the faction of House Varun to sort of uncover the mystery of what happened, and then resolve it
really happen with those weirdos.
as you do as a player.
Nice.
There's lots of choices in there for you.
Okay, very interested to find out what that story kind of leads us on to as well. Very good. Along with that story that we've been chatting about, there are some new game features as well as a huge new planet that we can explore. Could you tell us a bit more about those too?
So we have the city of Dazra. We focused, all of our effort has really been focused on the area around the city. So I think the beauty of it is that there's exploration, that you can find nooks and crannies in the game or little secret discoveries or locations you feel like, I know I'm coming back here. So there's like an excitement there. Yeah, so it's that, I'm so excited about it. I am.
Oh, so excited as well. I mean, even in the trailer, we saw kind of a very summery, beachy vibe cruising around on our Rev 8 too. Have you taken it for a spin?
I have, no, I do. And I think Shattered Space is like a fantastic playground for it. Now, you can take the Rev 8 to any planet. You can take it into Varunkai, Varun's homeworld, and drive it there as well. But like we support, I think that's one of the great things about our games is we always support any type of play style. So it's like you can play with it, you can play without it, you can take it to Varunkai, you cannot take it there.
Sounds amazing. Okay, well, I'll definitely be taking it for a spin as well when Shattered Space releases too. Was there anything else that you wanted to chat to us about for Starfield Shattered Space coming out? Anything we can look forward to?
You can. I think you can look forward to an interesting story, a handcrafted world, new weapons, new gear, new items that sort of alter the way you might think about Starfield.
Amazing. Well, Tim, I cannot wait to play it as well. And everyone watching at home as well, be sure to check out Starfield Shattered Space, launching September 30th with Xbox Game Pass. Thanks again for chatting with us. Now, next up, we're exploring, scavenging, and hopefully surviving the harsh world of Atomfall. But first, let's build a dungeon.
To get out of shot. Shattered Space. They have the rover. They have the rover. They have the rover. They got the rover and what's the name? The new areas to explore. So why not? Whoever's mixing this event, they mixing this shit. Wow.
Hi there, I'm James, the designer of Let's Build a Dungeon, a game development simulator that's coming to PC and Xbox next year. We previously brought our game Let's Build a Zoo to Xbox Game Pass, so it's exciting to be back here sharing news of our next game.
Xbox Game
Today,
Pass.
we want to share a closer look at our multi-layered management sim, and also reveal some brand new features that we've never talked about before. Let's Build a Dungeon is designed to simulate every aspect of running a games studio, and that starts with designing something your virtual players will love. You get to decide which quests to put in the world, and whether you want to focus on a traditional RPG built around magic and combat, or something more cozy like fishing or running monster farms. And if you want even more control, we have an exclusive new mode to share with you. Creative mode is our sandbox, but it's a sandbox quite unlike any other. Not only do you have access to literally thousands of assets, buildings, and characters, in Let's Build a Dungeon, you can also tell your own story. We are developing a series of easy-to-use tools that lets you create almost anything, from a production-level dialogue editor that lets you create branching conversations, events, and rewards,
to a full AI editor that lets you adjust anything from attack probabilities to spawn rates and weapons. We even have a tool that lets you draw your own pixel art characters, which will then automatically animate them for you. Our goal is to build a suite of tools that gives you as much control as we have when building our games. Games made by the community will be available for download, along with some titles made by developers like us here at Spring Loaded. Adding these tools felt like the natural extension of our game development simulator. Why stop at building the most detailed game dev sim ever created when we can add elements of a game engine to give you a full, authentic experience? Hopefully, this short overview has given you an idea of what to expect from Let's Build a Dungeon when it ships next year.
Windscale, the pride of Britain. Nestled in the picturesque Lake District, the state-of-the-art atom plant has transformed this rugged landscape into the envy of its northern neighbors. Scientific progress waits for no one.
Windscale. Everything changed when that bloody atom plant went up in flames.
Citizens of Wyndham, there has been an increase in bandit activity outside the village walls.
Temporary quarantine, they said? It's been bloody years.
They're hiding something from us. Something terrible. My name's Molly. You got out to trade? I got bits and bobs for sale. Please be careful. It's more dangerous than you can possibly imagine.
Detected.
It's mystery mixed with folk horror weirdness, all set in a not-so-idyllic post-war British countryside, and believe it or not, it's based on a true story. Really? Well, here with more on Atomfall, please welcome Creative Director for Rebellion, Ben Fisher. How you doing, pal?
How you doing?
Welcome to Germany.
Thank you.
First time here, or?
Been here for Gamescom before.
Yeah. But not with a game quite like this, right?
No, let's talk about that, Ben. Actually, you're right, Henry, because this is a huge departure from Rebellion's most famous series, let's call it, Sniper Elite. Can you tell us about this sudden change of pace here?
Sure. I mean, it's similar and it's different in different aspects of the game. So we always value sandbox exploration and giving the player lots of freedom in their objectives. At the same time, this is a survival action game with some sort of RPG-ish elements. There's skills, there's crafting. The story of the game unfolds as you explore. It's kind of a mystery game, so tonally quite different to Sniper Elite.
I love the exploration side of it. I mean, from what we just saw in the quick trailer, there's a lot going on. It's not just one sort of trope that you're sticking to. There's a lot to unpack. So maybe as we're checking out some gameplay that you brought along that we can experience, we can jump into some of the influences that have made it into this title. Because, like I said, it's a lot going on in here. So let's check out some of this gameplay as well. Got to start off with a post box.
Yeah.
Where else?
I mean, it's on your T-shirt as well.
Yeah.
It must be quite a core feature of Atomfall, I assume.
It is actually.
Ah.
So, as you explore the world of Atomfall, you're uncovering a mystery. You're discovering what's happened in this post-apocalyptic quarantine zone in 1950s north of England. Different characters will ask you to do things for them, and they might help in return. And one of the characters that you can interact with is this mystery phone voice. You don't know who they are, you don't know what they want, and you have to choose which characters you trust and don't trust in your exploration.
Kind of like Bosley, Charlie's Angels vibes coming through the phone.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. That's cool. Speaking about the story, and Henry, you mentioned it earlier, true story. Like, what is
Surely
that about?
Yes. Well,
Surely not.
Yeah. It's based on real-world disaster that happened. The first major nuclear disaster in the world was in Windscale plant in Sellafield, so 1957. We wanted to use that as a jumping-off point for a story. So Jason Kingsley, one of the owners and founders of Rebellion, observed that there are lots of games that are kind of like post-atom storytelling, like post-atomic disaster storytelling, but none set around this first disaster that's happened in the world. So we took that as a starting point and then thought, what's a rebellion kind of interpretation of that kind of event? So, like I say, we value that kind of sandbox exploration and player freedom, and then combine that with the sort of unique Britishness, and that led to the environment that we've got in the game. So it's kind of an alternate history story, and it's a mystery that you uncover what's happened. And as part of the process of building that game world, we looked back at 1950s storytelling. So references like the Quatermass series, which is one of the very earliest sci-fi serials, or like early Doctor Who, and things like that. So like UK TV Gold kind of cultural reference points that even if people don't know the reference itself, they know the influences that came from it. And at the time, there wasn't a clear distinction between like folk horror and sci-fi and those kind of stories. So it's a blend, it's a natural blend in the storytelling style of the 50s.
And of course, you have to chuck some cricket bats in there for good measure. I mean, the combat's pretty crunchy, right? I mean, this is, like you say, a bit of a departure from Sniper Elite, which is typically long range, but in here we're getting right up, even the fact that it's first-person camera as well. Like, these are conscious decisions you've made. So why did it feel right for Atomfall to treat it that way?
So in the case of Sniper Elite, you are an elite-trained sniper. You know, Carl Fairbairn's like a human sniper rifle, right? He knows exactly how to fire a shot, miles to take out that one guy. This is a different character in a different situation. We wanted it to be a mystery, so there are no signifiers of age, race or gender for the player character. They're wearing gloves, so you don't know who they are. Their backstory is part of the mystery that you may or may not uncover as you explore. We wanted you to feel more like it's not so much a war zone as a pub brawl. You're desperately attempting to survive. There's not much ammo around. The guns are all rusty because everyone's been trapped in this quarantine zone for 5 years. You're mixing melee and ranged combat. You can throw your melee weapons. You can kick people to make them stagger back. We wanted you to be constantly, desperately mixing options and scavenging desperately for resources. So there's a real kind of tension as you play, which is very, very tonally different to Carl, who's calm and controlled and reads an entire situation before he decides what to do.
I think we can definitely get on board with the pub crawl element.
My entire playthrough is like it's a scene from Kingsman, basically, and it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel great.
Talking about Kyle and that he's an iconic character. What about the characters in Atomfall? Our player character isn't maybe so much of the focus, but are there other people that we're going to meet that are going to be key?
Yeah. So I need to have the right answer that doesn't spoil too many things. But as you explore the game world, different characters will ask you to help uncover the mystery of what happened in the Windscale plant and maybe ask you to do something when you get there. And if you do that for them, they might try and find you a way to escape this quarantine zone, or they promise to. So as you explore, you've got to decide who you trust and who you don't trust, whether you think they're telling the truth or trying to manipulate you, whether you believe the same things as they do. So it's all murky shades of grey. There's no good guys and bad guys, and it's all completely open to the player. So you could theoretically kill every character in the game, and there's still a way to finish the game. You could theoretically play through and kill no one, and there's other routes available to you. So we really pushed hard. Rewards for observing and choosing what to do. So there's lots of tropish characters, lots of kind of characters that fit this world of being north of England and also being 1950s, 1960s culturally.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, as a fellow Scot, Ben, really quick, are there any maybe Scottish people in there that we can look forward to meeting? I'm sorry.
No spoilers, but what we have done is we've taken like 1950s sci-fi, 1950s, or like old-fashioned folk horror type trope characters and Cold War scientist trope characters, and you'll meet those kinds of people as you explore through the game, and then still decide whether you trust them or not.
Okay.
So we got pub rules, we got crazy characters. They're all living in this open world that we're experiencing. Can you tell us more about that? I mean, how did you construct it? How big is it as well?
Sure. Okay. Well, What Rebellion excels at is these deeply packed kind of sandbox maps. So the way that we've structured Atomfall is a series of like 5 or 6, depending on how you count, sandbox maps like the one you can see just now. And you can travel freely between them at any time. They're all thematically very, very different. And then there's loads of interiors and like large-scale, story-driven locations that you might uncover, as well as bunkers that are full of loot that you might find. What we wanted to do is really lean into that densely packed kind of puzzle box. So I've spent all day watching people play the game, and no 2 playthroughs have been the same. People can approach it all very, very differently, get different experiences. As you explore the game, you'll find leads as well. So we don't have a kind of quest system. We've got leads that you piece together clues that help you understand what's happening. So we built this puzzle box, this sandbox of interconnected options for the player, and then we just let them go for it. They might find a difficult, dangerous place and die, but we signpost very clearly that it's a dangerous place, and then it's kind of up to them what happens.
That's right. I love a puzzle. I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
We're great at solving them together, to be fair.
Well, we could work on it. I mean, you just said that there'll be leads that players can follow. Tell us a bit about how they're equipped to do so, because we just saw like literally pulling out a metal detector and taking part in that great British tradition of finding some old coins or whatever it could be. But what are the other ways we can do that?
Yeah, so you might find a lead that someone's hidden in a box under the ground somewhere. They've a bit of storytelling around it to draw the player in and make them try and understand how it fits to the game world. But there's also characters that you might find in the world. There's friendly characters that you can barter with, and they might sell you or trade something with you which has a lead in it. Or if you do some trade with them, they might get friendly to you and give you a lead. You can also have conversations with characters, and if you might choose the right choices, you might get some more information from them. The way that we've approached those is the same kind of high stakes player freedom. So you can get the conversation wrong, right? You're not working your way down a list of conversation topics until they grey out and then moving on to the next one. It works more like a real conversation. So if you judge their personality wrong and say the wrong thing, they might shut down and stop talking to you, and you've pruned a chain of leads that you might otherwise have found something interesting in the game world. So you're always having these influences and layers that you may even not notice are there.
That sounds so smart. I can't wait to dive into that as well. That's so cool. I understand there's some crafting elements in that as well, and also, metal detectors, scavenging. Can you tell us what that kind of looks like in Atomfall?
Sure. So the player's desperately trying to survive and finding materials to help them survive. So even if they find a gun, there might be 3 bullets for the gun. So they can find materials that let them craft things to help them heal or help them in combat, so Molotov cocktails and makeshift grenades and things like that. So you find yourself trapped into a corner and you can make these resources that help you survive. Like I say, we're trying to make sure that we find this sweet spot where you feel kind of desperate as you're trying to survive. We want you to use everything that you find. We've made sure your backpack capacity is quite limited as well, so you're really pushed to make these difficult choices and decide even whether you want to engage in a fight or not, whether you want to avoid it entirely, you want to choose the right moment and try and take out 5 guys with a Molotov. It's all really, really high stakes, but it makes it very rewarding when you manage to pull something off.
It looks like our player right now is making a horrible decision by going into a restricted area. Already seen a ribcage. I mean,
yeah. I mean, so
this is going to go great.
Like I mentioned earlier, if you're heading into somewhere difficult or dangerous or scary, we make sure and signpost it. So if you go into a place like that and then you die, you go, I should have guessed. There was a skeleton outside.
Yeah, that one's on me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm very good at ignoring red flags, so we'll see about that.
And in terms of the player's progression then, so you're making all these decisions, you're making friends with everybody, you're crafting your gear. What about skills, anything like that in the game?
Sure. So there's a range of skills that help reinforce the player's ability to survive in this dangerous world. So there's a chain of skills that are for melee combat, ranged combat. There's sort of durability skills that mean you can take more damage and survive in dangerous areas. And then also abilities that help your overall survival, like disarming traps and things like that. So really we wanted to keep it grounded so that there's always that sense of threat and pressure, but we wanted to give you some advantages. So you might learn a skill that lets you throw a melee weapon, and if it's bladed, it'll stick in targets and things like that, just to help give you that edge over the course of the game. As you can see in this location here, they're in a kind of dark and then scary interior. So we've got the player's progression, but then there's also a kind of game world progression where they're uncovering a mystery. So quite literally, they have to push deep into the world and into the underground of the world to find these dark and scary places. And we try and keep it tense the entire way through the game.
I was going to say, because there is the sci-fi element, but there's a bit of horror vibes I'm getting too. Like, so with us competing with people maybe on a top level, and now we've got into this bunker, there must be some monsters of some kind.
Yeah, we just saw a little glimpse of something scary and monstrous. And as you push into the mystery, you will find more elements influenced by what happened. But yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said earlier, the storytelling style of the 50s and 60s didn't really have a division between folk horror and sci-fi. There was like a blend for a certain kind of story that was addressing the Cold War, but in a way that wasn't too political, I guess. So, folk horror stories are about the division between rural and urban civilization and how there's a tension between them, and Cold War stories are about fear of the outsiders and others and that sort of thing. And there's thematic resonances between all of these different storytelling styles, which make it really easy for us to push into these otherworldly horror elements as you push into the mystery.
Nice. That's so sick.
We've got quite an atmospheric bunker, like you said, as well. Have you got a favourite part of the maps that you can share us with? Again, nothing. I'm really pushing it here, but any favourite place to maybe have a picnic or anything like that?
Well, actually, there is a favourite secret place which I can tell you about a little bit. So, as the player is starting the game, they're given one lead. A person tells them that the heart of this mystery is a location called the Interchange. So to begin with, you're trying to find this place, and as you make your way in, it's all unpowered, it's been shut down, it's been quarantined, and you push into it and open it up more and more, and it's like an unfurling flower as you find all of these leads that are the heart of the mystery. And the more you find, the more leads there are to find. So you end up in this kind of like snowball effect.
He's just picked up a Cornish pasty.
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah. Well, this is pre-Greg's era, I suppose. So we'll take what we can get for now.
That's brilliant.
Just don't ask what meat's in it.
I don't want to know.
It's really fun for me to see like the contrast between that dank bunker we just came out of, and then like the overworld is so lush and vibrant. And listen, I've been to the north of England. It's not always this green, so sometimes, yeah, exactly. I mean, I live in London, and it's just grey all the time. So any green I can get is good. But
it's the Lake District on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, will we see many other types of biomes or environments in the game as well?
Yeah. So one example would be there's a woodland nearby, but it has more of a kind of spooky folk horror-ish tone. As you get into it, it feels more mysterious and occult. And there's a group of kind of pagans that if you tread wrong, they'll cut your face off with sickles, you know. Yeah. Or you can find a friendly character who's sort of part of that group and talk your way into their compound. So we give you all these different options to, for whichever faction there are, ways to befriend them or get in a fight with them. Yeah,
I like that as well. Very good. I mean, I think we, especially at Xbox On, are super excited for Atomfall and to check it out and maybe even come across ourselves, because Henry and I and Charlie have actually been scanned into the game, which we're very excited to maybe come across ourselves. Oh, there we are. Yeah. There's Henry getting his wee...
Yeah, I have to say it's maybe not the most flattering, methods of doing it, but what are you actually doing to me there? Because I just signed something and agreed to show up dressed as a big baby, and apparently that's for something. But
yeah, no,
what did you guys do?
Oh,
yeah, I thought so. Yeah, thanks. What is it that you guys have to do to get someone scanned into your games? Because the realism is quite impressive.
Sure. So we go through a highly detailed scanning process of every angle of your face and different configurations. So we get wrinkle maps and things like that.
What do you mean? I'm perfect.
Of course, yeah. So we didn't bother with the wrinkle maps.
Oh, great.
So they're all assembled by character artists and rigged so they can animate. And then we, in the case of Atomfall, we then put that in a sort of character builder system. That means we can put costumes on the characters. We might grub your face up a bit because they've been surviving for 5 years without washing machines and soap. And then we just find exactly the right spot for each kind of memorable face in the game.
I'm definitely looking out for where I am. If I'm on an enemy, That's okay. I've always wondered what I'd look like if I had a cricket bat to the face, so this is great. And you're going to be getting scanned in pretty soon.
Yeah. I can't wait. As long as you put some fake eyelashes on me as well, then make that.
I'll make a note.
Yeah. Are you in the game as well? Have you been scanned?
No, I haven't been scanned yet.
Okay.
No. You have to shave a beard off if you want to get.
Yeah, you had to do that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It was just the beard that we had to shave. Right.
Yeah, the rest was optional.
Oh. Whoops. Honestly, I cannot wait to play this game. It looks bonkers. It looks British as heck. And honestly, we're going to play it so much when it launches next year. Thank you so much, honestly, for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your Gamescom. And yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And we are going to be taking a little look at some other games, but your game's coming out in 2025 on Xbox Game Pass, which is great. But next up, we're going to be throwing it back with some Age of Mythology Retold. But before we do that, we do want to check out some new gameplay. It's Dragon Ball. Oh yeah, Sparking Zero. It's back. Check this out.
Hello everyone, I'm Marco Rizzo, Product Manager of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Thank you for joining us today in this exciting showcase. Today we will show you some new and exciting gameplay footage featuring characters that we have revealed during the opening night live. But before that, let me give you a reminder on the 2 single-player game modes that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has to offer: Episode Battles and Custom Battles. First up is Episode Battle.
Okay, Sparking Zero. We're talking game modes.
In this single-player mode, you can take the point of view of 8 different characters, including Goku and Vegeta, and enjoy famous battles from the anime. For each stage, you'll be playing through an introduction before heading into some of the most iconic fights in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. The number of stages and battles vary by character.
We're here to take you down. Simple as that.
Next up is Custom Battle. In this mode, players fight in battles that each have their own original scenes. Some battles will also have different victory condition, and some might even have event cutscenes pop up midway, so you'll be able to enjoy battles different from the norm. Using Edit mode, you'll be able to freely set the characters to be played, as well as the pre-battle and post-battle cutscenes in order to make your own original battle. What you've made will be able to be uploaded and viewed online for the whole world to play. So hope you enjoy sharing the battles and situations that you have created.
Yo, Brandon, what's going on, bro? Getting it on PC. Which game?
Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Coming straight from the Majin Buu saga, Ultimate Gohan is our latest addition to the roster. After his rigorous training, he is ready to show his power in an all-out fight against Kefla in her Super Saiyan 2 form. Enjoy!
I'm getting Sparking Zero on private Xbox. Okay, fusion time, guitar earring. You getting it on PC, Brandon? Dragon Ball is like the only series that I prefer the English dub over the Japanese dub. I don't know. That's just my preference.
を出させてもらいますよ。もう参ったは効かないぞ。
That's clean. I love the art style.
俺との実力差に気づいたか?
I hope so. It should be crossplay. I don't see why not. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Like that, like it's 2024, bro. Like that was clean. I can't wait to play this. And then you got all the DLC shit.
Now, there is nothing like enhancing a classic with modern graphics and gameplay mechanics. And if that classic feature can feature, you know, new expansions and a remastering of the multiplayer experience, well, in my eyes, it's even better. So here from World's Edge even, to give us the latest on Age of Mythology Retold, please welcome Senior Director of Production, Ernest Yen, and Senior Game Designer, really Kristen Perillo. Welcome and prostagma to you. Thank you so much. Now, Age of Mythology, there's loads going on here at Gamescom. Yes. In general, there's loads going on anyway. But you also had a pretty epic opening night live. So I want to hear all about that. I want to hear all about the booth. I want to hear everything.
Great. So first, thank you, Jeff Keighley, for showing the awesome premiere trailer that we just showing in opening night live last night. And you showed the story of Athena talking to like the young hero, and in this case, like one of them is of course the key character, Achantos, and about this really, really epic like story that a lot of our fans remember really fondly. So over multiple campaigns, over 50 missions, it is epic, amazing, and of course the trailer also show off like the new graphics we have in the game, looking really pretty. It is just like really cool to see. So.
Yeah, and the trailer's been fantastic because it really showcases how diverse each civilization is within myth. Yeah. We have our Greeks, we have Egyptians, Norse, and Atlantean. They all have their own gods, their lore, the way that they play. There's just so much diversity within the gameplay. It's been really exciting.
And talking about the booth, yes, we are here, so like people can actually come.
You're just over the back, over there. You're like tucked away over that
right
way.
There.
If anyone's planning on coming tomorrow, just over there.
And if you come, you can get like these awesome lightning bolts, like, and also take pictures. So that's like really, really cool. And by the way, this is not the only thing that we have here. So you know, on top of Age of Mythology Retold, we also recently announced Age of Empires Mobile. And then, like, if you come by the booth, you can get this, like, awesome, like, pop socket. It's, like, amazing. So, I highly recommend it.
I'm going to be first in the queue to get one of those as soon as possible.
It's so cool. And the game is actually, we just announced that it's going to be available globally on October 17th. So it's a very different, very new experience that we're expanding Age of Empires to the mobile audience. So it's a game built with the awesome Team Studio Group, and they have crafted something that's amazing for the mobile gamers.
How exciting. I can't wait to see it. Amazing. Right, so I know you have more news to come as we're talking here today, but the first thing I want to talk about is that this is more of it's more than a remastering, but it's different to a sequel, right? So I don't know, what are the name of gods does Retold actually mean?
Right, so for a few years now, our fans know we have been building these things called like definitive editions. And there's one key goal that we have, which is we want to build the title that's in your head.
Bro. Do you hear it?
Right?
Echo?
No, because when you actually think about the games that you grew up with and play, like you remember fondly, and so like, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you actually try to play the original for real and look at it and say like, that's not what I remember like at all. So we want to build the one that's actually in your head and how it looks like, how it feels like. So that's the goal. So really want to thank the fans for supporting us for so long for all the different editions. But for Retold, Age of Mythology Retold, we are going beyond what we have done in developed editions. So on top of all the graphics and all the gameplay from the original, we actually tweak it and added a bunch of like new things to it as well, and it is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, from the design side, from the get-go, we really asked ourselves, how can we maximize our mythology? And so we've got reusable god cards, which you can actually see. We've got our, approachability features like our VPS we brought in from other titles. We've got, a more favor-based economy, so you can build more monsters, and our population cap is much higher now. So not only can you build more monsters, you can just build more of everything.
You add me at more monsters, I'll stop you there. It feels like a love letter, really. Everything you've learned so far, you're bringing back. And I love the idea of taking out what you see in your head and then making that version of the game. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So you mentioned a little bit about god powers, actually. I heard we have our very own gods wandering around at Gamescom, by the way, while we're on the subject.
Can you hear me now?
Invited to
Is that better?
to the booth. So you also can actually see them. We have Athena and Zeus here in our booth. So come by, see them. Like, you can see them on screen like that.
Zeus is loose.
Goodness me,
Much better like that? Okay, cool.
Amazing. That is so cool.
Turn up the gain.
Oh my goodness me.
Please come by. It takes a lot of work.
I just turned up the gain on my shit. Okay, cool. You gave me better.
So,
a lot of convincing.
A lot of convincing.
Beautiful.
I don't
Awesome.
feel like wearing these headphones all the time. I'd be sweating.
So, seeing the gameplay that we just saw just then, it's really clear that the team has been hard at work on the visuals. I think you both mentioned it already. So
the audio's kind of flushing my voice out, but I turned the gain up, so it should be better. But I was saying, I think you might like this game called Kimitsugami, the latest Capcom game.
So, like, every single 3D asset, every single animation, like effects, all of them are completely rebuilt. So just for this game. And it's amazing. The team did really, really good work. But we want to make sure that you also keep the flavor of the original.
Yeah, it's like I think you will fuck with it.
People remember.
I think you will fuck with it.
So it's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a labor of love. I'll say that much. Yeah, so we've gone asset by asset.
But I don't know if you heard me before. I was saying I like XCOM. I remember you was playing XCOM.
And so we have, our
you kind of put me on to XCOM because I always knew about XCOM, but I never
like Ernest had said
checked
earlier,
it out. But when I was watching you stream it,
I
went and bought the whole collection.
We realized that we had an image in our head that was very different than Blurry Pixels, wrapped around a sphere. And so we had a lot of philosophical discussions because, the dev team were all major fans of the original. So, I mean, Arcantus was a big one where we were like, would he have a dimple? Or would his chin be more square? Would he have?
I want to be in those meetings, please.
They've been really
I just started meeting. It's fun. I like it. I like it. Like anything with Marvel
and then it's
heroes,
like labor of love, and it all comes together to make that game that we remember loving and playing.
I like the card
Amazing.
system.
So if I've got everything right here, so Age of Mythology Retold as complete visual overhaul, updated god powers, and larger than life myth units. Now, small enough to keep me interested, but is there anything else that you have to share?
Yes, definitely want to say that.
I really hope they announce another XCOM. I hope so too.
One of the coolest things that we have done for here is that we are releasing on PC and Xbox with crossplay, like at the same time. We have never done that with any Age games, so it is the first time we're releasing on multiple platforms at the same time. So really, really happy to be able to bring the game to not only to the keyboard and mouse player, but to controllerless players as well. Because the game people really remember, beloved it. We want everybody to be able to play together.
And you've had some fantastic versions on the console recently, so those players want to absolutely join you. Now, you also have some other really exciting things to tell us today. I know I'm really gripped for this, but what can you tell us about the Freya Gods Pack?
Oh, I am so excited to be able to talk about this.
Here we go.
So the Freya God Pack really is kind of like a new DLC type for us. And what we really wanted to do was offer the players a new strategy type for the Norse, which is, a beloved civilization from the legacy game that can sometimes be very offensive in the way that it plays. And so with our Freya God Pack, we wanted to offer a defensive skew to it. So with the Freya God Pack, players will be getting 4 new god types featuring Freyr, who is the god of fertility and kingship, and then 3 minor gods, as well as all the things that they come with, like their myth units and their god powers.
Wow. Oh my goodness me. That's insane, by the way. 4 new gods. Amazing. Are you able to talk us through each one? Can we do that?
Yes.
This is amazing. Excellent.
So we have Uller, who is the god of archery, and his myth unit is a Draugr, which you may see in the film here. The Draugr is an awesome myth unit. He's an undead archer, and his arrows can pierce multiple targets, whatever is in his line of sight. We have Aegir, who is the god of storms, and his god power, he has a horrifying hailstorm.
You control movement and shooting, but the game is very unforgiving.
And he is one of the most units, which is a rock giant, and if you upgrade him, he can eat buildings and
God, I love this game.
And our Mythic Age god is Vidar, who is the god of vengeance, very appropriate for the Mythic Age. And so his god power, he calls upon Fenrir, which is a mythological wolf. And Fenrir is interesting. He has a path of destruction. He'll light forests on fire, and the wolf comes up in a very scary, ghostly manner.
Yeah, I know.
His myth unit is
I know.
actually my
I
personal
was playing
favorite.
the video
Another
to see
famous character from mythology, Fafnir, who is a very greedy dragon. Everywhere he goes, he leaves like a trail of poison.
I might get that
and if you
try.
slay Fafnir on the battlefield, he actually melts.
It looks hard
into
though.
a
It looks
pile
like
of
it's.
gold coins.
It looks like you really gotta.
It's been very fun to
like,
make.
Really love
Very
how
fun.
much
in
you
and sink
fleshed
your
out
teeth
each of
into
those.
it.
Like, yeah, that one's going to eat
Know what's
buildings,
going
isn't
on.
he? Love
Yes.
it. So
amazing.
good. Wonderful.
It's amazing. I just want to do a quick reminder that Freya is going
That's
to be part
definitely
of
a
the
game I
premium
would play like
edition
on
of the
my
game.
Steam Deck.
So
or like
if
my
you want
RG
Freya
Ally.
and all the people, the major and minor gods,
Be on the train
so
or something
definitely
like that.
get the premium edition. And by the way, if you get the premium edition of the game, you also will be able to access the game earlier. So like the game is coming out September 4th, but like if you have the premium edition, you can start playing on August 28th, 7 days
Sounds like
early.
a good deal to me. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So as well as choosing your god and battling across this frozen north, what other new content can we expect from the Freya Gods pack?
Yes, so with the Freya God Pack, there's also a new playable level called Reagan Leaf Rally, and I won't spoil it. It's very fun. You'll get the chance to play all of the fun new myth units and god powers and techs I just mentioned. And really the best part of this level is that it does feature one of our villains from the Legacy campaign, Gargarensis, who is just a peach, and it's a great experience.
I'm stuck on Peach there. I can't wait to unpack this expansion, but I need to ask you both, Ernest, Kirsten, what dates? I know we spoke them a little bit, but let's go over it one more time so everyone's got them written on the calendar at home.
Yep, September 4th is when the game is coming out. So, but I do want to be clear that the way that we like to build our games, September 4th is really just the beginning. So we will continue to support the game, we'll continue to do updates, balance, listen to consumer feedback, and honestly, our players are amazing. They give us really good feedback, and then we can continue to improve the game.
And part of that is, we have 2 new Pantheons coming with playable civilizations, and then we also have a new game mode, Arena of the Gods, which we're excited to talk about soon.
Ooh, how exciting. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to make sure I get the pop socket. I'm going to make sure I get whatever these things you're wearing. I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to get them. So thanks so much for stopping by. There are loads more Age of Mythology stuff going on for all types of gamers. But first things first, as Erson said, if you haven't already, make sure you pre-order Age of Mythology Retold Premium Edition to get the Freya Gods pack, 7 days early access, and so much more. You can play early.
Who that is on Twitch,
and that is only 1 week from today. And that, my friends, is a wrap on day 1 from the Xbox Gamescom booth here.
We don't do that here. We organic over here. Bethesda. Yeah, this was day 1 Xbox. Yep. And apparently there was a Bethesda live stream 12 days ago. I don't see it. I don't see it here though. It says Bethesda live stream, 8 a.m. Eastern. I didn't see it. Where was it at? Damn, didn't see much I care for then. Yeah, I mean, it's only day 1, maybe day 2. Let me see. Let me look on the schedule and see what day 2 says. Day 2. Xbox second live stream day will feature Star Wars Outlaws, World of Warcraft, The War Within, Towerborn, among others. I wanted to check out Star Wars Outlaws. Infinite Level live stream is at 1 p.m. I'll check that out. I'm trying to find a Bethesda live stream. I don't see it nowhere. Yeah, I got that pre-ordered. Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, I'm definitely cop that. I know Black Myth Wukong dropped yesterday. I gotta cop that. I gotta pay my bills first, see if I even got money left over to get it though. Bethesda live stream. Was it within the Xbox one? It had to be, right? Xbox. Copy. I'm still debating if I want Wukong. I don't really play Souls-like games. I don't really be streaming Souls-like games. I streamed Lies of P. That shit was so stressful. It's like the pressure to beat the game on the stream is like so hard. I'm on the last boss. And I've been on the last boss since like last year. But I haven't been playing it either, so that's one thing. Let me see. Was the Bethesda one, was it within, it had to be within the within this stream.
The more than 50 titles on display and the many ways to play that makes Xbox the best place for gaming.
And to do all that, we've assembled an international squad, because with this many titles, we need reinforcements.
That's right, Lena. You need a crack team of gamers willing to play and properly fan out over the latest titles.
Probably, you know what it is?
Somebody has to do it.
I think that
favorite mercs that you like playing alongside?
For me personally, we're here because
I think that Rockstar is like keeping that real close to the vest. They don't want to show anything, especially after that leak, that crazy leak. So now they got to keep everything away from us to make us miss it, basically. So we're not going to see nothing from that game probably until 2025, like mid 2025, because it comes out late 2025.
You have to collect an item that allows you to reflect the attack back at him.
That's a showcase, man. What's going on?
The intention in creating Diablo bosses.
It's very dedicatedly, created.
I did want to see that Stalker
about
game.
The Xbox build.
Go back to the Stalker.
Yeah, I got to have hands-on with it, and it is so much fun. Because what we're going to do is
surprisingly find something stashed journeys, because they can bring like hundreds of thousands of kilograms. They have to make some stashes for there, and players sometimes find them, and it's often rewardable, and often it's very rewardable, because you can get a huge equipment boost by just going to some building you didn't expect to find anything there, but it could be there.
That's what I found. I found
GTA 6,
myself
we might not
an
hear
assault
that
rifle
from NASA.
when I just had a pistol to start with. I was like exploring buildings and found that. But the game also, it looks amazing.
Yeah, this is the start of a next fight. The player, we have some stealth mechanics.
Yeah.
So it's not very as you used to have a stealth in the game, it doesn't offer you like ability to be invisible for enemies. No, they will see you and shoot you, but at least it allows you to get slightly closer, to find better position to start the fight, or maybe to initiate the fight with a grenade, so it would be easier for you, and then the fight is pretty challenging.
Yeah.
And you have to watch your hit points and your state, because you could get bleeding, and you have to use a bandage to stop this bleeding, because it's gonna last for long, and you're gonna lose a lot of hit points if you not stop and use the bandages.
Yeah, because you have multiple ways of healing, don't you? You've got like the bandages to stop the bleeding, but there's like different types of med kits that you can find as well.
You can have a regular med kits, medical med kits, and an army med kit.
Yeah.
And they provide additional boosts, but mostly it's restoring the hit points. But also, if you are not in the fight and you just need to recover a small portion of health, you can just eat, and it will also bring you a small portion of hit points.
See, that's what I loved as well. I found like there's so much resource management that you have to like pay attention to as Stalker, which really gives you a different challenge. So it's like you said, if you don't eat, you're going to perform worse in gunfights.
Yeah, so you have to watch about your state, just like you're watching about yourself. So we try to bring this simulation or atmosphere as you being the real human that goes to Chornobyl exclusion area with your backpack, with some food, and you just have to do the same things to survive in the game as in life, because you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to like you fall, you broke your leg, you have to use some medkits to survive this, and that's what we are doing here.
Yeah, no, I honestly, like, it's one of those things. I'd recommend it to anyone. If you haven't had the chance to just play the original Stalker as well, because when I got to play here, you just think and approach gunfights so differently, because there is that like risk element, and some of the enemies, like I was jumping out of my skin because there was like a camouflaged opponent that I came across in the demo here at Gamescom. And like, can you tell us a little bit more about the enemies that we're going to face?
Yeah, so the zone is inhabited by different factions. There are factions that came from the first Stalker trilogy, and there are new factions, and they have a story behind them of how they appear, what is their goals, and for the player, it would be interesting to uncover and discover these stories. And it's important to mention that from one walkthrough, the player won't know the whole story.
Yeah.
So you had to have several walkthroughs to get all these pieces together, or you could discuss it with your friend who choose some other path, and you can share the information about what you see to each other, and you uncover, oh, I didn't expect that it would happen like this.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I find it should be interesting for people to discuss their experience with each other.
Yeah, we also saw just beforehand, right, we can actually see the scanner going on right now. Can you talk us through this?
It's echo scanner. It's a simple scanner. You just beep, and the faster it beeps, the nearer is an artifact.
Yeah.
You can collect an artifact just by using scanner, and at this point, player faced that Bloodsucker. It's a canonical enemy in Stalker series. He has an ability to become invisible for player, and we found that from the feedback of the players and from what we see that he's doing quite challenging things for the players, and but also it's very rewarding, because when you start playing the game and you start facing some challenge for the first time, you may die, second time you may die, but after it becomes easier for you, and at some point you become master of the game. Everything is easy for you, but it takes time to learn the game.
This terrified me. Like, honestly, I was there going like, wait, at first I was like, what's attacking me? And I was like, how do I counter this? And I was like, suddenly realized there was a camouflaged opponent attacking me. It's like, I love that in this game though, is there are so many challenging enemy components, whether you're fighting bandits, whether you're like fighting these sort of enemies, and then I was like looting everything. I became like a loot goblin, where I was going into every building and just trying to find as many med kits so that I could stay alive.
And there is also a lot of pieces of content just near the locations. This is not a main quest, it's often not a side quest, it's just some encounters or narrative little stories to bring you an experience of discovering this real location, real zone. And it's not a fake world, it's full of small pieces.
Yeah.
And for me, I find it very interesting to discover, even if I know the game pretty much, still the world map is so huge, so even for me, going back to some locations make me feel, oh, I didn't expect to find it here, or they bring something here also. So for me, it's also like, I feel the same wow.
What are they doing?
Something dark is coming.
Make it more accessible and a better experience.
Awesome. Well, I'm dying to find out more. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is out October 11th on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Right now, though, there is lots more Gamescom Studio coming up live on IGN, so stick around.
Because their mix is a lot lower. So I actually need to turn this up.
Hello and welcome to Gamescom 2024. I am Simon Cardy with Matt Purslow for IGN, and we have seen an extended look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle gameplay, a full 15 minutes, a couple of different levels, a little look around some of the mechanics, and I think so far, you know, you'd be expecting from Machine Games something that has the essence of a bit of Riddick, a bit of Wolfenstein in there, which you're definitely getting in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. But I think the surprise we got is there's quite a bit of the Hitman games in this, not only in some of the stealth systems, but the way the levels themselves are designed.
Yeah, so as we know, kind of like, Indy does disguise himself in the films to get into certain areas, and we're actually seeing a bit of that in the mechanics of the game. So there will be areas that are off limits, and you'll have to get a disguise, very much like Agent 47, and then you'll go in there, and there are actual enemies that you have to be wary of because they might be able to see through your disguise. And then as you're working through those areas, you've kind of got to do stuff that makes you seem like you're part of them. You know, you might want to have to pour a bottle of wine in one instance to make sure that the Nazis don't think that you're anything more than a humble waiter.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of my favorite parts of the Indiana Jones. I'm a huge fan of the films. I just love how funny they are, especially in The Last Crusade, where Indy himself disguises himself as a Nazi, mistakenly gets really close to Hitler and gets him to sign his autograph book. It's a very funny moment. Don't know if we'll get any of that quite in the game, but yeah, as you said, I like the disguise elements that we've seen so far. There's one bit where he's disguised himself as a member of the clergy in the Vatican City to sneak into areas he shouldn't be. I just love that element of it, that sneak into areas, and there's a good level of stealth to this game, which is kind of what I want, because the Uncharted games, which are obviously inspired by Tomb Raider, which in turn inspired by Indiana Jones, very gun heavy. They kind of take the more action hero approach to Nathan Drake, whereas I kind of like that this is more India's core. He's a professor, he's an archaeologist, he's not a super soldier, and we're getting that. And that's not to say that there isn't combat in this game. Outside of stealth, he does like to get himself into a fight, and I know you in particular are quite impressed by the melee system they seem to have in this game.
Yeah, so as you were saying with Uncharted is very gun heavy, and kind of like Nate has lots of different weapons that he can use. It seems like Indy's kind of doing the inverse of that, where he's got his revolver, but actually a lot of the combat seems to be fist fighting, and there's actually, it seems to be, at least what we've seen, a reasonably deep fist fighting system. So you've got your usual left and right hooks, but there's also like a dodge and parry system, and obviously you then combine that with the whip, so you can kind of like whip them from the ankle and pull them over, or you can knock their weapons out their hands, so then you can like dive in to get like your strong right hook in. And so yeah, it feels like definitely it's gonna have a little bit of that Uncharted, as you say. You can't escape that because Indy is the start of that genesis, but I like that they're focusing on things that are very not like what other archaeology-style adventure games have done in the past.
No, and I also like there's a great deal of puzzle solving in this game. Like in that 15 minutes we saw, there was at least 3 or 4 different types of puzzles we saw. Of course, you're going to get like the light and mirror puzzle that you kind of see in all of these types of games, but there was also just a good amount of it's kind of outside of the box puzzle solving. We don't know to an extent how many different ways you can solve certain objectives in this game yet, but a key tool that Indy has is his journal and his camera. So he'll go around levels and take photographs of clues, and then that'll help him not only solve puzzles and work out ways of completing these levels, but also for everything you successfully take a photo of, you get things called adventure points, which you can then use to unlock perks. We've only seen one of those, I think, so far, but I know it was one that you were also a big fan of because it plays into the films in a very funny way.
Yeah, so there is a perk called True Grit, and this is if you played Borderlands and you know what the second wind sort of ability in that game is, when you go down, it allows you to come back. It's a second life essentially. But True Grit, the way it does it, it's perfect. He drops the hat, and then you pick the hat up and put it back on your head. Hopefully it plays the music sting, and then you get your second life and you get to walk around. I think that's just a perfect way of knowing what the tropes of those films are and finding a way to turn that into gameplay. I think that's super smart.
I think they're doing a lot of things to play on your expectations and what you want to see from Indy, which is obviously going in, finding relics, like going into tombs, finding all these historical secrets, but also kind of subverting your expectations. Right at the end of the demo is a funny moment where they drop down into this tomb and you're expecting snakes, but it's actually scorpions. A fun little twist. I mean, he's not a fan of bugs either. That's more a Temple of Doom. A lot of bugs in Temple of Doom. You're expecting snakes. I'm sure there will be snakes in this game. We haven't played it yet. We don't know how it feels. I'm hopeful about it, but they really seem to have cracked the essence of Indiana Jones. And it does I know Gears is inspired by that. Kind of does feel like you're playing an unofficial, almost an official film of Indiana Jones. They've got it spot on. And that includes even Troy Baker's impersonation, which, you know, if you squint your ears, if you can do that, I don't know if that's the thing, isn't too far away from.
I think he's got it pretty well.
Okay, so
one big question people have had since the start reveal of this game is
Myth.
first versus third person.
What else is out?
95% of the game is first person. I'm happy with that. That is what separates it from the likes of Uncharted and Tomb Raider. Otherwise it would be, to an extent, a bit of a copy of those games and the Hitman games. There are moments where it switches to third person. Some of those I think work well, like the climbing, that makes sense, this in third person, but then every whip swing you do for a second cuts to third person. That is a little jarring for me at the moment. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I find the kind of there's almost a bit of Deus Ex. If you know the modern Deus Ex games have when you go into cover, it goes into third person, which feels very natural for it. It feels like it works for the gameplay mechanics. It is obvious in this that when he does the whip crack to swing himself over a chasm, that they want to have that kind of cinematic element of Indy. But the moment is so small. It's a second, so you're going out into third person for a second and then back into first person. Whereas with the climbing, you've got a more extended period and it makes more sense of that. I hope that there's a toggle that I can switch that on and off, because quite honestly I'd rather play the game mostly in first person. It is a game that is clearly built for first person. And I want to play most of the game that way.
Especially because the details of some of these levels, it's a beautiful looking game, and I kind of, I think you can be immersed in third person games, but first person does give you that extra little boost to that, I think. And seeing some of these worlds and holding the journal up in first person, it all feels very tangible, and I like when games feel tangible. And it's another way they're really encapsulating the feel of the films. I do want to touch on the comedy of it all as well, because I do think it's going to be that's what the Hitman side of Hitman is one of the funniest games you can play, because it allows you to do funny things. And I think even in the melee combat you see funny little slaps and stuff like that, which is very funny. And also the way you can just pick up weapons from around the world, there's a shovel on the floor, pick it up, hit someone with it once, and then that weapon will shatter. So you can't overly abuse that system, but it's fun little ways you can just pick up not anything in the world, but pick up little things and just use them kind of a little bit
it's going to be on Game Pass.
Old Valve games would with their physics engine, just kind of making weapons from the world. And I know you saw a little bit of Valve design to it. We don't want to overhype how much design work's going into this, but there is a little bit of that in there, I think.
Yeah, I think that kind of the providing as many possibilities within a space as possible. They did talk about how there's a lot of linear sections, but then there's a lot of kind of I guess you call them wider linear sections, which is where you get to make make more of your own choices on how you progress through the mission. And that's where, we're going back to the disguise system, you have disguises that work for particular story sections, but then it seems like you get to keep those disguises, and then if you find an area that would require a similar presence, you can switch back into that. And so that combined with the these slightly more open, a bit like what Chronicles of Riddick had, where it's like, okay, you're in an area, but there's sort of 4 routes that you can see that might go through it. And then, oh, this one is, I can pick up this rolling pin and batter the Nazi with a rolling pin. But then I could maybe grab this guy's gun and fire a few rounds of that off. It's got a bit of that. It's not an immersive sim game in the way that kind of things like what Arcane and Ironstorm back in the day made, but it's got that freedom, which reminds me a little bit of Valve. Valve was always kind of hot on, you're in first person, as long as you can do things around with the environment, you'll find a solution. I'm hoping that's what it's going to get from. That's what it was suggested from what I was seeing.
I'm very excited for this game. I was already very excited for this game as a huge Indiana Jones fan. I'm just glad now we've seen an extended bit of gameplay that there is a lot more to it, and I thought we maybe I was just getting a first-person Uncharted, but I like these stealth elements, the disguise elements, a lot more deeper systems than I thought maybe this game would have, and yeah, I can't wait to see more, really. Yeah, fantastic.
Diablo IV was one of last year's most addictive games, and if you thought you were done, they're about to pull you right back in. Here to tell us about the upcoming Vessel of Hatred expansion, I'm joined by Brett Gibson, Game Director, and Tiffany K. Watt, Production Director. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about Vessel of Hatred, coming to Diablo IV October 8th, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And I believe at the show here at Gamescom, you're showing a new trailer for the Pale Hand Mercenaries.
Yes.
What do we need to know about this crew?
Oh my God. First off, we wanted to find a way to allow players that play specific classes to round out their builds with certain powers that you might not actually have in that class specifically. And so, like, for example, if you're playing a Sork, you might want to have something a little more tanky as a part of your kit. And so Mercenaries is a really great way of being to hire and bring followers along that fit those gaps.
Yeah, there's a few reasons I love Mercenaries. I mean, I've been playing Diablo for a long time. Diablo 2 always had a mercenary with me, obviously, in Diablo 3. So really, really excited to bring this feature to Diablo 4. I'm personally a little scared when I go down into the dungeons, so having a friend with me makes it a little bit friendlier. And like Brent was saying, being able to customize your playstyle, and no matter what build you have, whatever class you're playing, there's going to be a mercenary that you can customize to really, I think, enhance what you're doing, and being able to switch them on the fly, and just all the features that it brings to the table is really exciting.
So I believe there are 4 mercenaries. I have the names here. Let's see what I can do. Rahir, the shield bearer. Sly Aldkin, the cursed child.
Yes.
Variana, the berserker crone, and Subo, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And I believe you encounter them as you complete quests in Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah.
Is it a specific order, or can you find them on your own, or how does that work?
You can find them on your own. You're going to find one during the campaign.
Okay.
But the really special thing about this is that we just didn't put them into the game. We actually wanted to build them out as characters. So they all have their own side quests that really lean into their human story, which we won't spoil anything here today. But they're wonderful human stories for each individual one. And the character development in Diablo IV, I think, is super top notch, and I'm really excited to see it in this feature.
Yeah, it's awesome that we can continue to bring the world of Sanctuary alive through these characters. And as you're acquiring them, as you're playing through the game, is learning more about them and their backgrounds, and bringing that little bit of role playing into your gameplay.
You'll just have one of them with you at a time? You're not rolling with the whole squad?
There's a couple different ways that you can bring them in. One, if you're playing by yourself, you can bring them in as a follower, so they'll be running around the world with you. But we also have a reinforcements feature, which is no matter how many people you have in your party, you can assign them to come in and use their special powers under certain conditions that you define. And so you might be in the middle of combat and say that, on basic, have Rahir come in and throw up his power, however you spec them in that moment, which is really cool because you can essentially always have them with you, even if they're not on screen.
I was just going to add, I think that's just to enhance on what Brent was saying, being able to trigger the reinforcements to key actions that are happening during gameplay. You can be a little bit more passive with it, like Brent mentioned, if you wanted to attach it to your basic attack. But you can also attach it to like, hey, I just took a lot of damage. Now I want Rahir to come in and actually put up his shield for me. I think that's where the customization of the gameplay is really, really amazing.
Yeah. You mentioned the campaign. Can you sort of set up where the story is going in this expansion?
Yeah, it's the story of Hatred is a longer story that we want to tell. And so when you left off in the base game, you defeated Lilith, and Narel had Mephisto and the Soul Stone. So this is really the next chapter of that. We're picking right up where we left off, and you're going to figure out what the fate of that Soul Stone actually is.
A new region, Nahantu?
Yep.
Is that right? What has sort of that allowed you to bring into Diablo IV that wasn't there before?
Oh man, all sorts of stuff. I mean, you've got this dark gothic setting with the base game, and to be able to come in and bring something as fresh as the jungle is pretty amazing. And even though it's brand new to Diablo IV, there's a lot of nostalgia built in as well. And so for fans that have been around since Diablo II, we're going back to a region that we touched on lightly. But now we get to dive deeper in with the open world. We got a lot more opportunity to build out that space.
We also get to bring new amazing monster families to the game. So we have the Hollows, the Dregs, and a fan favorite, the Lacunae. So that's really, really exciting. I think finding new monsters and just defeating them is a core part of the fantasy of Diablo 4. So I can't wait to see what people's reactions are to the families.
So there's a new class, Spiritborn. Any tips or tricks for people who are going to be jumping into this new class?
Oh man, this is the most experimentation that you're going to see in any class. I actually think it comes down to playstyle preference. So the tips and tricks are really based on what style you prefer. I'm a Jaguar player. I really like. We were talking about this earlier. I got the coin in my pocket. Where I like the fast-paced speed. I like being able to cover a lot of ground. But pairing it with something like Centipede is really fantastic, because not only are you covering a lot of the ground, but you're also leaving that damage out into the field at the same time. So I just encourage people to get in and see all the emergent experimentation that they can get with the class and come up with things that even we haven't talked about.
Yeah, it's really great that I think that maybe the key of this expansion is being able to customize your playstyle, and the class in itself just caters to so many different playstyles. It's kind of gross to think that I would say I'm a Centipede player, because I do not like centipedes, but I am a Centipede player, so I like the poisons that they bring, the damage over time playstyle, and Brent is telling me I need to add some Jaguar into that. So
we had a long debate this morning. Yeah.
There's a new co-op dungeon. What specific challenges does it pose that has to be tackled in co-op? You can't do this alone.
Oh man, we talked about this a lot. There's a lot of things that are going in on that, and I feel like the cooperative mechanics that we put into place need to be discovered, because part of the challenge is that we're not going to be overly forward with what those are. So it's just know that you need to go in with somebody that you trust. Know that you need to communicate, but the game is set up in a way where it's not required. But the experience is quite fantastic, because it's at the core, it's still Diablo combat, right? But the mechanics that are coming up really are you have to be on point with that combat, be a good player, and try to coordinate at the same time. It's a blast in the playtests.
Yeah, you got to jump into Dark Citadel with 2 to 4 players. But if you don't have any friends,
it's not me. I'm over here talking, and my mic was off. My fault.
Feature, which isn't just limited to the Dark Citadel. You can use that feature to find parties for any of the content. But I think that's an exciting new social feature that we're bringing to the table as well.
Very cool. Diablo 4's been out for over a year now. It's awesome to see you guys still supporting it. We're excited to jump in. Vessel of Hatred in October. Thank you so much for coming by the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Diablo 4's Vessel of Hatred expansion is out October 8th for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, but right now there's more Gamescom Studio coming up right here on IGN.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there. period. And by high tech, we mean it. We've recently added features like personal notes that save to your IGN account, and anything you check off on a map is tracked in the guide as well. It's the perfect system to get to 100%. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the game you are playing for free at IGN Maps today.
IGN Store has it all. From clothes and collectibles to vinyl records, accessories, model kits, and action figures from the biggest and best franchises like The Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, Fallout, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. Whatever your pop culture passion, you're guaranteed to find something you love. There are new and exciting products hitting the store every week, like the Wasteland-ready Fallout Vault 33 hoodie, which pairs perfectly with the working wearable Pip-Boy. Plus, high-quality IGN Store exclusives like the powerful and spicy Star Wars Darkside Hot Sauce by Truff. We've even got merchandise for you to rock while tuning in to the IGN shows and podcasts you love. Or cap off a long day by relaxing to the soundtracks of your favorite video games, like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us. And the best part? You don't even need to leave the house to go there. Just head to store.ign.com and start shopping today. The IGN Store.
You're watching IGN's coverage of Gamescom 2024. Next year, we're getting to journey into the Forbidden Lands to meet new and old monsters in the wild. See what I did there? Today, I'm joined by Rozo Sujimoto, producer, Yuya Tokuda, the director of Monster Hunter Wilds, and Patrick Shields, our wonderful translator. Hello.
Hi.
So, first of all, I have to thank you for letting us bring 2 weapons on a hunt. So, I do have to ask, though, how will this work with the guild cards?
今回武器2つ持っていけると思うんですけど、ギルドカードに登録するのはまた2つに増やすことなんでしょうか。
そうですね。ギルドカードというもの自体がちょっと今回いろいろ形式を変えてたりしますので、またそのあたりは、追加の情報をお待ちいただければと思います。
Whether or not you have something exactly like the guild cards from previous titles is something we'll talk about a little bit down the road. But I'm sure you'll be happy with what we've done. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that makes me happy. There's more to talk about. Lots of secrets for us to discover. That makes me happy. So then let's go back to the weapons. I'm so curious if there were any weapons that were least used that you really want people to play and try out this game.
これまでの作品で使われている率が低かった武器で今回強調したかった武器とか使ってほしい武器などあったのでしょうか。
一つは狩猟笛については、今までちょっとダメージがどうしても出しきれなくてサポート武器という立ち位置がすごく強かったんですけど、今回はうまい立ち回っていくとダメージが出せるような設計になってますので、ぜひ一回手に取ってみてもらいたいなとは考えてます。
The hunting horn, as you'll know, is a weapon which is great for support buffs, but perhaps in previous games it was a little hard to do decent damage output compared to the other hunters in your party. So for Monster Hunter Wilds, I focused on making sure that if you're pulling off the right moves and combos, hunting horn users can also be right up there in the damage output with their friends.
I'm going to say I could not get a handle on the hunting horn. I was awful with it. So I was the worst support player. So what's something that you took from Monster Hunter Worlds and Monster Hunter Rise into Wilds?
ワールドまたはライズの経験から生かして今回のワイルズに実装しているとか、ここは変えてみました、追加しましたのような要素があれば教えてください。 細かいところはあれですけど、これは正直ワールドワイルズに関わらず、今までの作ってきたモンスターハンターのやっぱり経験であったりとか、ノウハウであったりとかっていうのはすごくやっぱりこのワイルズでももちろん生きてるところもいっぱいありますし、それを踏まえて今回、入れたシステムであったりとかも仕様であったりとかってももちろんたくさんあります。 not just Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, we've actually looked further back through the whole series history and just taking a look at how our approach was on each title and what we learned from them and how the players reacted to them. And I think in Monster Hunter Wilds, we've really taken these many, many years of experience and finally been able to put it into the ultimate Monster Hunter game.
一つ言うと例えばセクレトとかっていうところで言うとやっぱり今まで結構、フィールドが広くなっていく分には、やっぱり、アクションの幅も広がって、ワクワクするっていいんですけどその分やっぱり迷いやすいとかっていう欠点があったりとか移動までに時間がかかったりとかっていう、欠点もあったんですけど、そういうのはセクレトがある程度オートで行きたいところまで行ってくれたりとかする手助けのサポートにもなるので、そこら辺は一つの例として今までの経験が生きている要素ではないかなとは思います。
One example is that as the series has progressed, the maps have gotten bigger and bigger, and that has meant it's been easier to get lost on your way to finding the monster. So, bearing that in mind, we've added the new Sacred mount, which you're able to not only get on and move faster, but it can also automatically run you towards the monster and then get you straight there in one piece. So that's one of the things we've learned from past player feedback that we've tried to improve in the new title.
That's amazing. So I can go get a drink of water and just have my mount be progressing me towards that. So with Sacred, actually, I'm curious. I know we were able to sharpen our weapons on it, but are we also allowed to do some combat, especially for a bow user?
セークレットに乗りながら研ぎ石使えたりすると思うんですけど、アタックもできるんですか？特に、弓などのユーザーは有利そうですけど。
そうですね、全ての武器がセクレトに乗った状態から攻撃することができます。ただ攻撃の種類自体は限られていますので、本当に時間的な効率っていうのを求めるならばやはり地上に降りていただいてアクションしていただく形が望ましくはあります。
All 14 weapons support attacking while mounted on the Sacred, not just the ranged weapons. That said, I'd call it an option that's added for when you have a chance to attack the monster on your Sacred, but in terms of, DPS as it were, I'd recommend getting off the Sacred and getting into the battle proper, but it's there if you want to use it, and there's a limited number of actions you can use.
Okay, that's actually amazing. I mean, I'll take the tips from the pro, so I won't just ride them out and be scared. So we do see that monsters are going to be able to kind of form a herd and attack you. This sounds terrifying. Why did you decide to implement this into this game?
モンスターが群れて攻撃してくるようなシーンがあったんですけど、個人的にはすごく怖いと言いますか、なぜこういう要素を入れようと思ったんですか？
今回人間も含めたモンスターハンターの世界というのを描こうと思ってまして、そのためには少しその人間に対しても攻撃的だったり怖い部分っていうのもモンスターにはありますので、そういうところを強調するためには群れみたいな表現っていうのが、今回の技術を生かした形として望ましいなと思ったので今回採用しています。
We're always trying to depict a realistic ecosystem, and that means not just how the monsters or creatures in the environment behave, but how they react to people. And just as in the real world, some creatures will form packs or herds, and they might be aggressive towards humans who come towards them, or they might be scared of them and run away in a herd. So given that the technology now allows us to display so many more monsters on screen at the same time, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to implement this feature.
So if we give the monsters some food, is that something that could possibly make them, we can befriend them?
Demo's a character creator. Yeah, that's what I was saying, bro. Like, it looked like, I said, this looks like just like a character creator thing.
毒の肉を食べさせることはできます。
The only thing you can feed them is poisoned meat, as you.
Oh,
but at least when it's ready to
not
play,
very
you have
fair.
your character created. Because they did that with the Saints Row game, like the new.
Yeah, they wouldn't be alive too.
Not the new, but the latest Saints Row game that came out in like 2022.
What are the new monsters that you're very excited for players to come across?
They made an app where you create your character. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's a demo. I'm about to create my character, run around, shoot some people for a little bit, but it was just a character creator.
まだ本当に一部しか公開してませんので、これから先出ていくモンスターは本当にさらに魅力的なものがたくさんありますが、昨日の PV でもたくさん流れてきた、レダウという砂原での一番頂点に立っているモンスターは非常にビジュアル的にも、かっこよくてですね、しかるべき強さも秘めてますので、今回試作のデモ版でもプレイいただける形になってますので、なんか見ていただけたら嬉しいなとは思ってます。
Needless to say, we've only revealed a few monsters so far, so I can't really talk about monsters we haven't gotten to yet. But of the ones that we've been able to talk about thus far, Retold is really exciting. You will have seen it in the trailer that we released yesterday. It's the top of the food chain. It's the apex predator of the Windward Plains, the desert area. And not only visually, but in terms of mechanics, it's a really thrilling hunt. So I can't wait for players to get their hands on it. And if you're coming to Gamescom and you're able to play our demo on our booth, that's one of the monsters you can encounter.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll stop asking questions that you can't answer, but I do have one for both of you since we are coming up to our last and final question. I want it to be a little bit fun. I love palicos. I think they are the most adorable things ever. I wish they were real. Do you have palicos of your own at home, aka cats?
オトモアイルが大好きなんで猫が好きなんですけど、猫飼ってたりしますか、2人個人で。
僕は犬です。
僕はトカゲです。
Tsujimura-san has got a dog at home, and Tokura-san has actually got pet lizards.
Oh, okay. So I see where we're getting the inspirations for Monster Hunter from. I see. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure. I will definitely swing by your booth to play. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch us and this special Monster Hunter segment. Monster Hunter Wilds will be releasing in 2025 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Stick around for more Gamescom 2024 right here on IGN.
Copa City is a football tycoon game where you transform an entire city to get it prepped to host world-class football events. Copa City features 3 meticulously crafted maps based on real cities like Warsaw and Berlin, and includes 6 world-class football clubs like Flamengo, Arsenal FC, and FC Bayern Munich. Here's an exclusive first look at alpha gameplay.
Football. Every time before the ball is set in motion on the pitch, it's the culmination of hard work. To captivate the fans, to ensure everyone's safety, to meet every need, and to ignite the city's fiesta for the game. Sometimes it requires making tough decisions with lasting consequences. To elevate your football event to a global stage, to bring the best players and clubs to your city, to make your game happen in Copa City.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Want the ultimate IGN experience? Check out IGN Plus. Members get exclusive deals and giveaways, ad-free browsing, unlimited tracking on IGN Maps, discounts at the IGN store and with IGN partners, and best of all, free games. Get 30 days of IGN Plus for just $1. Head to plus.ign.com.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there. IGN Maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the game you are playing today. Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. You can even track your progress with interactive checklists so you know you reached that 100% completion. IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides. Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
You never forget your first drop.
Reinforcements inbound. Hang tight, demons.
From the moment those doors open up, everything changes.
Let's go, troopers! Move up!
And let me tell you, when it hits the fan,
Bust incoming!
it ain't the Federation you're thinking of. It's those who stand together.
Extraction inbound.
Those who fall. And those who stay behind. So we can fight another day.
Get to the dropship, troopers!
This is why we fight.
You know what to do. Extraction complete. Third wave ready, Command.
Later this year, you can finally do your part to make the galaxy safe by battling the bug menace in Starship Troopers Extermination. If you'd like to know more, you're in luck because I'm joined by the legendary Johnny Rico himself, Casper Van Dien, and Gareth Woods from Offworld Industries. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming by. I see you brought some backup here.
Some friends of ours.
Yeah,
I always travel with them.
I love it. It's. I feel incredibly safe. This is wonderful. Now we also brought something very cool, which is a brand new trailer. We just got to look at that. I was thinking we could maybe just throw it on again and maybe pause periodically, pull out some details, call out some cool stuff in there. So, yeah, let's take a look.
All right.
So here, these are Starship Troopers. Is that correct?
Yep. These are these people, right here. There's a drop ship coming out of here. I love the face masks that they've added in Starship Troopers Extermination. We didn't have that in original, but we had coming out like this. That's a plasma bug, right?
Yeah. Let's kind of talk about that. There's some new bugs in the game.
Yeah, we wanted to show off some of the bugs that I guess people have seen already in the early access. But I think the big reveal was obviously the tanker bug, which I suppose we've teased. People knew it was coming. It's in the movie, and that's always been a thing we've tried to push throughout development of the game, is that you're going to get to live action role play the movie. And so if it's in the movie, we want to put it in the game. And so the tanker bug reveal was obviously a big one.
That was
tigers we've seen before.
The tiger bugs are huge.
But obviously the big reveal now when the tanker bug unearths from the ground, the music's at a great crescendo. You really start getting the goose flesh. And obviously part of extermination is extracting safely. But sometimes someone has to stand behind and defend the base.
Oh boy.
And with the nuke, which obviously very impressive.
Good way of handling that.
100%.
Is that the Watkins trigger?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is, but with a nuke attached to it.
With a nuke. Yeah. Well, he held the nuke. That was the Watkins thing. He held his, when I said to him, "What are you trying to do?" Kill? And he goes, "I'm just trying to kill some bugs." That's Seth Gilliam, who was in The Walking Dead. They named it after him. These people are. Offworld is so incredible. They take the time to look at all the details, and they would add these little people
things that people would know that watch the movie.
Yeah.
Or go back and watch.
Yeah, basically kind of cram in as many Easter eggs as possible for the fan service.
I was overwhelmed with them.
Casper, I think you were saying this back at IGN Live, but like, you recorded more lines for this game than for like all the movies. Is that?
I did.
That's wild.
It was so much fun. We were in there, and they'd throw something else at me, and then I'd go, "Hey, what if we did this?" So we played when we were in there, and that was so fun for me to have people that they're like, "Oh, I got an idea," and they go, "Casper, that was great, but why don't you try this?" And then I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's even better." And then I'd throw something else, and I'm like, "Oh no, that was perfect." So we had so many different things that we added. So there were so many levels, but they had already come up with the dialogue. It was so incredible. It reminded me of just like what Ed Neumeyer wrote, who wrote Starship Troopers.
And you're sort of playing like the general. You're like just commanding everybody, you're bossing everybody around, and then the actual.
You get your orders, and the narrative is delivered through Casper and other voice actors. But essentially, you play a trooper, and you've got your NPC kind of characters that join you. They've all got their own backstories. They've got their own kind of personalities. And you essentially go through these series of missions for what is Chapter 1, which will be available at launch. We are then periodically throughout the ongoing live service going to be delivering more chapters. Chapter 2 has already been recorded with Casper, but we'll be able to continue the story through more free DLC that comes out later.
Cool, and it's also like 16-player co-op.
No, that is a single player,
single
but
player
4-player
version.
squad.
Okay. Gotcha.
You're an elite special operations group that are, Casper, the general, has kind of commanded you and cherry-picked you as the best of the best to go out and deliver these special missions.
Cool. Now, so this has also been in early access for quite a while.
Yeah, since May of last year.
Yeah, which is awesome. And obviously, like you've got some extremely active Starship Troopers fans around. Some of them just hanging out on stage with us. What's some of the feedback you've gotten from early access, and what's the community brought to the table?
Yeah, I think people have really appreciated our obvious love of the franchise and wanting to put as much of what you see in the movie into the game. I think the particularly unique selling points of the game have obviously been the 16-player element. I think horde shooters, it's a super popular genre, but no one's doing that kind of 16-player element. I think other games always treat you as the hero. You very much can make a difference by yourself, but with 16 players, you have to team up, you have to work together, and so the unique roles that you play in that squad, and take it from our studio's experience with Squad, our other game, which is a 100-player game, we've really tried to elevate that element of teamwork and coordination.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What they do is they even benefit that you get perks if you help other people, if you're trying to help other troopers out. I mean, they've been very thoughtful in this, and it's incredible. I go out and I play all the time.
Yeah, you've been streaming the game yourself.
I've been streaming it and also just going out and steaming it by myself, just going out, and I go as General J. Rico, and people are like, "Wait a minute, you sound like the guy from the movie," and I go, "I am," and they're like, "No way!"
Yeah, great for random players to just. I recognize that voice from somewhere.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Now, Casper, I got to ask, there's a lot of bugs in the game. Do you have a particular favorite in the game, or just the general Starship Troopers?
Of course, I love killing the warrior bugs. I love that new Tiger Warrior bug, and the tanker bug has always been my nemesis. So that's been my thing. So I am so excited that this has been revealed. I've been wanting to talk about it. I've been wanting to see it, and I've been wanting to play it. And you can get on top of this bug, and you can blow it up.
You do the grenade thing?
Yeah, you can climb on it. Yeah, that's
shoot it.
It's weak point. Yeah.
And more than one person can. Yeah. But I also love that they have carnage, so that the bugs start piling up here and they don't disappear. You have to deal with the carnage as it comes. It's incredible. So the bugs pile up and they can crawl over and get in, but you can also crawl up on them. You can blow them up and you can go through them. I mean, it's incredible. And you go away and you come back, all those bodies are still there. They don't disappear when you kill them.
That is disgusting. That's just awful. I love it. I'm very into it. I guess I'm just sort of. Can you give us an idea where we're at with a single player story? Like what's at stake? Where does this fall in the general canon? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to reveal too much because obviously it is a narrative and kind of spoiler territory if I give too much. But essentially, General Rico, who's now a general again, and he's got a kind of antagonistic relationship with the rest of command. But essentially, he's picked you and your fellow troopers to kind of deliver some secret, not so secret missions that. I feel like I'm walking to spoiler territory.
You do this so that you can move up in the game. It also gives you. It's incredible. I haven't seen it yet. I've only done the voice for it. I've heard what they've said. I'm gonna go take a look at it today.
Yeah, but it's important to allow people to have their troopers experience by themselves if they want. But also, I think for a lot of people to get them ready for multiplayer, which can be intimidating. Mm-hmm. I think for a lot of people, they want to play the single player. They want to feel like they can do their part and not, be the sore thumb that sticks out.
Do their part. I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that.
I see what you did.
You're picking up what I'm dropping down. Yeah.
How chaotic does it get when you've got 16 people just running around? Is it just...
I think that's the thing when you first start. It is literally really like herding cats kind of thing. But towards the end, I mean, especially when you get to the higher difficulties, everyone kind of knows what to do. They know their part. They know the engineers, whatever role you're doing, everyone knows what the medics do, the snipers do, what the engineers do.
Yeah, we were just talking about this because I've been playing. I've been going out just playing, and I'm like a newbie again. So I'm like totally a noob, which is incredible because I was an OG in the old days, but now I'm a noob again. But I've been playing, and when I'm playing, sometimes you get, you have to have your medic, you have to have engineers, you have to have incredible base. They had all these things. You get all the material you need to get to build and get your weapons and get everything up, and then you go out and you kill the bugs. The hordes come, you kill them, and then you have to get extracted. It's incredible.
Victory. I love it. Everybody's got to do their part. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having us again.
Thank you for just providing backup. I love it. You can check out Starship Troopers Extermination right now by enlisting for Steam Early Access, and the full version will mobilize on PC and new-gen consoles October 11th.
Want the ultimate IGN experience? Check out IGN Plus. Members get exclusive deals and giveaways, ad-free browsing, unlimited tracking on IGN maps, discounts at the IGN store and with IGN partners, and best of all, free games. Get 30 days of IGN Plus for just $1. Head to plus.ign.com.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
IGN Store has it all. From clothes and collectibles to vinyl records, accessories, model kits, and action figures from the biggest and best franchises like The Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, Fallout, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. Whatever your pop culture passion, you're guaranteed to find something you love. There are new and exciting products hitting the store every week, like the Wasteland-ready Fallout Vault 33 hoodie, which pairs perfectly with the working wearable Pip-Boy. Plus, high-quality IGN store exclusives like the powerful and spicy Star Wars Darkside Hot Sauce by Truff. We've even got merchandise for you to rock while tuning in to the IGN shows and podcasts you love. Or cap off a long day by relaxing to the soundtracks of your favorite video games, like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us. And the best part? You don't even need to leave the house to go there. Just head to store.ign.com and start shopping today. The IGN Store. You deserve it.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the game you are playing today.
What's up, everybody? We are here at the IGN store, which is right next to the Gamescom studio booth in Hall 7 at Gamescom. So if you are here in person, come check it out. You will find a bunch of really cool merch that is exclusive to the IGN store. A bunch of t-shirts, hoodies, pins based on your favorite video games. We've got an exclusive Fallout Brotherhood of Steel pin set, which you won't find anywhere else. But if you aren't at Gamescom, you can also go to store.ign.com to grab a bunch of very cool merch and collectibles and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you're more interested in what we have to show you, we've got the World of Warcraft expansion coming up next. Then we've got Marvel Rivals, Avowed, Civ 7, and so much more, so stick around.
World of Warcraft has its 10th expansion pack coming very soon on August the 26th this year, and Azeroth is yet again in danger from a new dark force. Joining us today to talk about the war within are Associate Design Director Maria Hamilton and Associate Art Director Tina Wang from Blizzard. Welcome, folks. Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Great, thanks for having us.
So it's the 10th expansion, 20 years of World of Warcraft. How do you approach finding new stories, fresh storytelling this far in, and how do you approach raising the stakes?
Well, I think that, we have had, as you said, 10 expansions, and along the way, we've left hints and clues and little hooks that remain that we can then pick up later and continue. And that was our goal, actually, with this 20th anniversary World Soul Saga, is to start pulling some of those threads back together. And so it's going to feel pretty nostalgic for some folks, because we have a lot of interesting things. Quite famously, there's a giant sword in the desert in Silithus. So it's not too hard, actually. There's lots of cool ideas. It's a deep mythology, and so we're able to easily find, new stories to tell. But this one is a real culmination of a lot of threads.
Is it challenging to find like new stakes, new world-threatening things, or is the lore so rich that there's just hooks everywhere?
Yeah, no, there's hooks everywhere, and we've had this whole story about Azeroth the whole time. I mean, Azeroth is in many ways our main character.
Huh.
The world is the main character here. I mean, yes, the players obviously are, but it's all in service to our world. So it's pretty easy to always find, another problem that's come up, and in this case, it's pretty epic. I mean, it's really enough story that we need to tell it in three expansions.
You're never short of like world-threatening dangers.
No.
Speaking of the world, Khazalgar is the new subterranean region. What led you to that decision? What solidified your decision to go subterranean? Why underground?
Well, one of the key reasons was the narrative really led us in that direction, right? The world soul of Azeroth, the stabbing of the world. And so this was a location where we felt that there were many cultures and stories that we truly wanted to explore. For instance, Maria was mentioning, the threads of what we've laid in the past. And in terms of inspiration, one of the pieces that the art team takes plenty of inspiration from is what we've seen historically. For instance, in our expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, we saw, we saw hints of the Nerubian Empire, but for the War Within, we thought, how amazing would it be to show them in all their glory. Oh, excellent timing.
What can you tell us about the new playable race, the Earthen? They look really incredible. They're different. They're a neutral race. You can play them as Horde or Alliance. So how's that going to be?
Yeah, the interesting thing about the Earthen is they have been isolated from the rest of sort of civilization for a terribly long time. And they were created, in fact, to take on specific tasks. They're in three different sort of categories. There's the machine speakers that were responsible for taking care of the great machinery that sort of powers everything under Khazalgar, and probably more of the world than we know. There's the Oathbound, who are protecting the core way, which allows you to go down to sort of the center of our world. And then there's the Unbound, who are the ones that have sort of begun to doubt, because it's been a long time they've been here. The Titans gave them these edicts to sort of drive their need to do these things. But they haven't seen the Titans in a very long time, and they're beginning to question and wonder. So that makes them very interesting. And then just in terms of how they look, there's still that rocky, crystalline, gem-studded sort of look, which is really cool for customization. Tina knows a lot more about that part though than I do.
And they eat gems instead of food.
There's definitely hints of their culture that we make unique to them, right? They're made of rock, so they don't burn. They, might remineralize in these little pools, so it's really fun.
Okay, I'd like to touch really quickly on quality of life improvements. Can you tell us about warbands and how that's going to make everyone's lives easier, maybe?
Yeah, something that we really have been leaning into this expansion is really meeting the players where they're at and seeing how they're playing the game. So now we see so many players play multiple characters. They have alts, and we're really made this huge, engineering effort to make it so that the way that they play for all their different characters combines together in a way that we're calling the warband. In terms of their achievements, there's a shared warband bank, and we think this will be a huge quality of life improvement for everyone.
Okay, and racing ahead, because we're so short of time, I want to talk about delves. Now these are like mini dungeons, and you can take any kind of like party, or you can play them solo. It doesn't matter what group of classes you've got with you. How is that going to work? Like, what's the difficulty pitched at for those?
Yeah, we're so excited because delves are, again, meeting the players where they're at.
Okay.
There's definitely this flexible group situation, right? So there's a different scaling difficulty. So you could choose different levels depending on the level of challenge that you want, and you could go in either solo or with up to 4 friends. And so this will be a way for a lot of players who historically have been, underserved with endgame progression to get their opportunity to feel like they're able to constantly progress week by week.
And they're super short, like what, 10, 15 minutes?
I think that's one of the key parts, is that we were trying to think of our players that don't have a big block of time to play, but they want to jump in the game. Maybe the baby's taking a nap and they're like, oh, I have half an hour. I'm gonna go run a couple delves. And then this gives them an opportunity too. Our Great Vault now has a row on it for doing these outdoor activities that then rewards very good quality gear. So those folks that just can't get together with 40 of their friends, can just pop in and have this fun, and then get back to what they need to do, what life, is sort of requiring of them.
Like maybe 20 years ago when you started playing, you had all the time for raids, and now you've got 15 minutes of an evening to do a delve.
Yep.
All right, well, let's talk about raids, though. For the people who are raiding, can we talk about the major raid? It's called Neraba, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will find out through the course of our main story questing about a little bit of a struggle. We've seen a video that we've put out that shows how Queen Ansarak came to power. And this is where this is her palace, and we're going to need to go in there and attempt to defeat her. So it's a very exciting raid. It's in that classic Nerubian architecture. For people that are terrified of spiders, of which there are many, we have the option to turn on our arachnophobia mode, which turns spiders visually for you into crabs. But the queen doesn't change. The queen will always be the queen.
Okay, if you can handle just like one big spider, you're going to be okay.
Yes.
Unless you're afraid of crabs.
In which case, stick with the spiders.
She was very difficult to truly mistake for a spider, so we thought
Was the arachnophobia mode like based on like community feedback?
It was a mix there. So even our internal developers, back when we made our original Rubians, there were a lot fewer polygons then, maybe. But now the art team creates models with such high fidelity that we thought, well, we have a lot of, crab or crab-like things in the games. We think that this is a very simple way for us to help players feel more comfortable in the world, should they choose.
Okay, final question. Who is your favorite boss in the dungeon, in the raid?
Ooh, okay, so the queen is pretty awesome, but there is this one Nerubian flyer boss who I really like him because he also shows up in one of our dungeons, but you don't really defeat him, but then in the raid he shows back up, so there's that continuity there.
Familiarity.
Yes, exactly, and there's these awesome platforms, so there's some really cool stuff going on in that fight.
All right, Maria, do you have a favorite?
I love Queen Ansarak. I think it is the most amazing fight. I'm really looking forward to having people get in there and get going, and just can't wait to see how that plays out.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. World of Warcraft, The War Within is out August 26th for PC and Mac. That's less than a week away. But if you need something to help pass the time until then, don't worry. There's lots more Gamescom Studio coming up right here on IGN. So stick around.
From the creators of PUBG Battlegrounds, Dark and Darker Mobile is a brand new mobile game from the developers over at Krafton. Pioneering a new genre called Extraction RPG, Dark and Darker Mobile incorporates dungeon crawler elements, a battle royale mode, and a medieval low fantasy RPG experience. If that sounds right up your alley, well, then you're in luck. Dark and Darker Mobile global registration is available now and is playable not just on iOS and Android mobile devices, but also on PC via Google Play Games. Check out a sneak preview of the game in this brand new teaser trailer. Enjoy.
Follow my lead!
Shut up! You can't even run properly!
IGN store has it all. From clothes and collectibles to vinyl records, accessories, model kits, and action figures from the biggest and best franchises like The Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, Fallout, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. Whatever your pop culture passion, you're guaranteed to find something you love. There are new and exciting products hitting the store every week, like the Wasteland-ready Fallout Vault 33 hoodie, which pairs perfectly with the working wearable Pip-Boy. Plus, high-quality IGN store exclusives like the powerful and spicy Star Wars Darkside Hot Sauce by Truff. We've even got merchandise for you to rock while tuning in to the IGN shows and podcasts you love. Or cap off a long day by relaxing to the soundtracks of your favorite video games, like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us. And the best part? You don't even need to leave the house to go there. Just head to store.ign.com and start shopping today. The IGN store.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
Superheroes are supposed to fight supervillains, but as anyone who reads comics can tell you, a lot of the time they also fight each other. So it was a matter of time before we got a superhero shooter that pits iconic heroes against each other. Here to tell us about Marvel Rivals, we've got Zhiyong Feng, Danny Ku from Marvel Games, and Liu Dingchen, who will be translating. Hello.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Good. So we saw another two characters being introduced that I know a lot of people are really excited for. We've got Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Can you tell us how they'll play, what their kit looks like?
Wanna go?
OK，美国队长呢，我们在设计的时候呢，首先就是会考虑他就是 I can do this all day。基于此呢，我们去设计了他很高的一个机动能力，方便他在敌人的战场和队友的战场中间就是来回穿梭，again and again。然后其次呢，我们围绕着他的盾牌展开了丰富的一个设计。然后比如说，他可以去反弹钢铁侠的大招、格鲁特的大招，这些非常有意思的一些点。然后最后呢，就是他的大招会展现他的一个领导气概，去带领他的队友去冲向敌人，然后赢得这一场的游戏。
All right. So basically, when we're talking about Captain American, we have the core concept of I can do this all day. So we give Captain America very high mobility, so he can run into the battlefield and then come back for to his ally for more supplement. And for the design of his shield, he can reflect projectiles or even the ultimate from Iron Man. Yeah, that is awesome. And also, Captain America's ultimate can show his leadership that to charge with the entire team to the battlefield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so then that brings me to the question of how will the synergies work with the team-ups with Captain America? I'm assuming Captain America and Winter Soldier will have a team-up.
No, they're actually rivals in this.
Oh, so, okay, never mind.
As you can see at the trailer, Captain America say, hey, Bucky, stop it. And he's like, no. Right? Hence, they don't have a team-up. But Captain America going to have a synergy with Thor. Thor blasts his electrical property on Captain America's shield, and where he can electrify his attack, basically.
Okay.
And then for Winter Soldier, he does have a team up with Rocket, So Rocket will supply him infinite ammo for a short duration of time, and he can do whatever he needs to do on the battlefield.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. I love that they're divided. People are going to love that.
Oh, yeah.
So with new players and new characters, I wanted to ask, since the release is this year, when new characters do come out in each season, will players have to purchase those characters, or will they be released for free?
So we announced that all heroes are unlocked from the beginning. So it's free. Just jump in, pick your favorite heroes, and play. And that goes beyond as well. Yeah. So if new heroes get added, you just play from the get-go.
Okay, wow, yeah. So with the Battle Pass system, I think a lot of people are curious because it did change a little bit from the beta. Can you go into detail as to how the structure is going to look? Will there be dailies and repeatables that will give you XP?
We did some testing during alpha, beta, and there's some response, a positive response on the Battle Pass, and I think we're going to expand that to allow more activities for the players. Please look forward to it. We will show a roadmap as we go closer to the launch date.
Yeah, so speaking of feedback from the beta, what was the biggest piece of feedback you got from the players? Because we did see that balancing was kind of an issue, especially with the season bonuses that some players could get, like Venom getting 150 health. So what was the biggest piece of feedback that will be implemented for launch?
So actually, the biggest piece of feedback coming out from beta is when is the next beta? That's the actual biggest one. As to game balancing in the nature of game development, we work with the community to kind of listen, like what they think is overpowered, what they think is underpowered, and we'll take that, working with the design team to kind of figure out via data and maintaining the fun, but balancing the game for the player. So we make this game for the players, and they tell us what they want to play.
Yeah, so you make it for the players, but I feel like also if you have a favorite superhero, you kind of make it for yourself, right? So is your favorite heroine in this game, and if not, who's your favorite hero and who do you want to put into the game?
Really?
对于我们来说，我们所有的英雄，我们每一个人都非常的热爱。对于开发者团队来讲，因为我们就是需要确保每一个英雄他都是足够独特且有意思的，这样子玩家在游玩这个英雄的时候，才能觉得我真正在扮演这个英雄。所以说，对我们来讲，也许私下玩的时候会有一些特别喜欢的英雄，但是你如果问我 What's my favorite? I'm going to tell you everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just as he said, for the team, we like every hero, and we just want to make every hero has its own unique point, and also making players feel like they are truly embodying the character is our top priority.
Yeah, at Marvel, we work with the NetEase Games team very closely. So about 70 to 75% of all those greatest hit of heroes that you might know from the movies, the TV shows, or the comics. And we throw some curveball in it for like 20% of them, and deep cut from over 85 years of Marvel history that we can pick from.
But which one's your favorite here?
My favorite's already in there.
Oh, really?
I co-created Luna Snow for Marvel back in 2019. So.
Wow, yeah, see, I didn't know that Jeff the Land Shark was going to be my favorite, but he absolutely is.
Adorable.
I love so much that his sound design, he sings the little song as he goes and he moves towards you.
Yes, yes, it was great working with the voice actor as well on this, bringing Jeff from the comics to life in this 3D environment. I think the NetEase Games did a fantastic job interpret how a land shark that acts like a dog works in a battlefield, which is fantastic to see.
Okay, I have to ask, just because he's my favorite character, and I do play support quite often. Do we know what kind of skins he's going to get? Like, is he going to get one of those kigurumi suits with the little dog ears? That'd be really cute.
I can say here it's going to be very cute for sure. Basically, Jeff can basically wear anything he wants and look cute.
Yeah.
It's a little adorable land puppy.
Yeah.
Like he's a shark.
Yeah. So the last question, what are you the most excited for players to get their hands on with the full release?
翻译
啊，对，
是你期待那个玩家们在上线的时候会看什么？
我们希望就是首先可以肯定啊，我们上线的时候还会有比 CBT 更多的内容，包括英雄，包括地图，所以我们希望在玩家上线的时候可以体会到就是大吃一惊，就我们有很多的新英雄可以体验，同时呢就是还有一些新加入的协同，这些东西都可以带来非常不一样的漫威的体验，而且是独属于漫威争锋的一个体验，我们就非常希望玩家能够感受到这一点。
Okay, so when a game released, there will be more new heroes and maps, and we will definitely surprise the players, and there will be more team-up skills. And also, we want to make sure that to offer this exclusive Marvel Rivals experience to the players.
I'm just looking forward to players making new friends and rivals, frenemies on this. We have a very strong community, and they make new friends every day through playing these games, and I look forward to that.
I was going to say, a lot of my friends that I played with, we are now enemies. So there's that whole experience. But thank you so much for adding Jeff the Landshark, my favorite character.
Thank you.
Now, Jeff the Landshark and everyone else will be releasing December 6th on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, so you really don't have to wait long. We've got more Gamescom coverage coming up right here at IGN.
If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
Hello and welcome to IGN here at Gamescom. Matt and I have just seen a hands-off demo of Dying Light The Beast, which was recently revealed at ONL last night. Now, we got about, 30 minutes of game time?
Yeah.
Didn't see a whole lot, but I guess the first thing that they mentioned was it was originally a DLC pack for Dying Light 2.
Yeah, so much so that actually if you own the Dying Light 2 Ultimate Edition, this game is going to be free for you. So it was going to be a DLC, and then they had like a massive leak, which meant that all the narrative kind of got spoiled for a lot of people. So they were like, what we're going to do is we're going to completely change what this is, going to go back to the start, and we're going to make a whole new DLC that then turned into a standalone game. And that's what The Beast is. And it kind of, if you're a Dying Light fan, it goes right back to the start of the story in some respects.
Yeah, so it's a return of the original protagonist, but he's been held captive by the Baron for the last 10 years, but he's escaped. But he is now the Beast. That means he's got superpowers, which we'll touch on a little bit later. But for the first part of the demo, it was very much like Dying Light, business as usual, parkouring across the city as the sun was slowly setting in the evening.
Yeah, so you're definitely not the character that you were in Dying Light 2, and that means there are slight differences. So Dying Light 2, its parkour very much made use of kind of like a paraglider. They didn't show anything like this. I think you will be completely, I'd say boots on the ground, but the boots quite often aren't on the ground in parkour. But also when kind of like it came to night, there was no suggestion that you're infected and you can only stay out at night for a certain amount of time. There was no immunity meter. So I think at night, it's kind of like, just do as much as you want. Just make sure you don't get spotted. Because as is the typical thing for Dying Light, when the lights go out, everything gets much harder.
Yeah, so we got a glimpse of one of the sort of superpowers that you have, and it's almost like, I guess, X-ray. So if you sit still, crouch down, you can see where the enemies are moving around, and that means, like, when you've got some of the really bad freaks that you want to avoid, it makes it a lot easier. But then one of the things that you very quickly did, you find solace in the safe houses that are dotted around the map. Obviously, it's an open world game, so you got to go and find those. And there were some simple puzzles to kind of get that up and running. You had to find the power fuse to make sure there was energy, which powered the UV rays, because the UV rays keeps the infected away. So that was pretty basic stuff that we've seen in Dying Light before. And then the next day, when it was morning, we woke up, and I thought it looked quite different. It's a very rural area compared to what we've seen in previous Dying Lights.
Yeah, kind of like Dying Light 2 was very much set in, you started in an old town and you moved into new town, and that, whilst it was set in Europe, had kind of very elements of old European towns into more modern architecture. There were skyscrapers, whereas it's sort of set in a rural village. There's a lot more kind of trees. There's a railway track that runs into that village. So it does feel more kind of like on the outskirts of civilization, which will obviously impact what parkour elements that we can use. Hopefully not too much. I'm hoping there's still plenty of rooftops to run around. Certainly seemed like it. But yeah, it had a different vibe to that environment than what Dying Light 2 is.
And then so shortly after, basically the goal of this very early mission was to go and find the Baron, who is hiding out in a factory on the outskirts of town. You get there and there are a lot of guards. And up until this point, the game has very much been play stealth.
Yep.
And you take it easy because you're massively outnumbered. But it very quickly turns because you take one of the guys out, you grab his assault rifle, and then it basically became a shooter.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual direction. So Dying Light 2 fans will know that earlier this year they did the firearms update, which brought a variety of actual kind of gun weapons into the game. If you know about those, you'll be quite familiar with the guns that are in this version of Dying Light. But yeah, I'd say about half of the demo that we watched, it wasn't the melee kind of focused zombie killing game that we're used to with Dying Light. This was a shooter. They promised that it's not turned into a full-bore shooter, but what they were showing was a full-bore shooter, and not a bad-looking one by any means.
There was a whole section where you're clearing out the inside of this factory against half a dozen guards, where you've got a shotgun, you've got an assault rifle, you've got grenades, and that's very different. The crunchy melee combat is still there.
Yeah.
It feels very much still like Dying Light, but once you've got a gun, there's no limit on ammo really, or there didn't seem to be.
Yeah, they ran out of ammo by the end of the demo, but within all of the scenarios they were showing us, ammo didn't seem to be a problem in the way that I would have assumed it would be for a Dying Light, but also all of the enemies had guns, so we're shifting from a game where you've got zombies that don't shoot you because they're brain dead, and there were kind of you going up against kind of rebel groups and sort of scavengers, and they might have had kind of some intelligence to use guns, but you're going up against the Baron's actual armed forces, which means that all of the encounter design is suddenly very, very different. And as I say, seem to be not a bad shooter. I don't know what those guns feel like because we've not played it, but I would hope that those encounters felt as solid as the melee did.
And it definitely feels like, it was all building up to the final encounter, which is against the new strain of the freaks called the Behemoth. It's this huge guy with, mega muscles. You can throw cars, you can throw rocks. He does a ground pound that shoots across the floor. And at that point, you've got a few guns, a few, clips of ammo, but that's, I guess, when the beast finally comes into play. And so, we sat through a 30-minute demo, and in the final 5 minutes, we finally got to see an idea of what the beast actually is.
And I guess it's almost that there's a slight Bruce Banner of it, I suppose. The Behemoth was very Hulk-like. It was doing Hulk smashes, and the guns were reasonably effective, but once they'd run out of ammunition, melee attacks weren't doing anything. So you can unleash the beast. Now, in Dying Light 2, your character was infected and did have beast-like powers, but they only triggered at certain story moments. It seems to me that you can trigger the beast at any time you want this time, I guess provided you built up a meter or something, but they were very familiar attacks in that you could ground pound and that would create a shockwave. You could strike out with your hands. They even showed him picking up a concrete block and hurling it at the Behemoth. And that obviously seemed to be much more effective than any assault rifle ever was going to be against this guy.
And I guess the crowning moment was when he finally tore the head off of the beast, and that was the end of the demo. I came away thinking, it's more Dying Light.
Yep.
It looks good, but ultimately, it's all about how good that gunplay feels, because it looks like that's such a big focus this time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much they've said that it's not going to turn into a gun game. What they showed us suggests that guns are much, much more key and integral to the game than they were before. And if all of that works, if the encounter design is good, then this could be an interesting spin on Dying Light. I hope it is.
So that's everything that we know about Dying Light the Beast. For everything else Gamescom, keep it locked right here at IGN.
Get ready for the next ambitious video game, Dimensionals, a fast-paced RPG that delivers roguelike replayability with action-packed tactics. Collect heroes, level them up, and build a party of 3 to fight bosses throughout different dimensions. Equip your heroes with a diverse set of skills and watch as they come together to create a barrage of attacks and combos. Told in the style of voice-acted comic book cutscenes, experience the rush as you fight your way through dimensions to save the multiverse. Want a better idea of the game? Check out this trailer and dive into the world of Dimensionals, launching on all platforms in 2025 with early access this November on Steam.
When the Rift is in trouble, the only ones you can rely on are... Dimensionals is the hottest new roguelike RPG. Put together incredible teams of unique heroes. Like Short, he's a bit of a dummy, but he loves blasting specters. Or the mysterious Shade Strike, the smooth-tongued gambler from the Shadow Dimension. Assemble your favorite heroes, strategize to make insane combos. But watch out, because Ragnarok's world-crushing bosses are no joke. Take on the Rift in style with the epic cartoon soundtrack by Brad Green. Experience wicked comic cutscenes in Dimensional's campaign mode, or blast your way through the open rift and face incredible and unpredictable challenges. Encounter a huge cast of characters like the Rogue Rifters, here to help you take down the bad guys. Or are they? Side effects of playing Dimensionals will include fun, addiction to victory, temporary loss of reality, and spontaneous combustion due to...
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection to the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Want the ultimate IGN experience? Check out IGN Plus. Members get exclusive deals and giveaways, ad-free browsing, unlimited tracking on IGN Maps, discounts at the IGN store and with IGN partners, and best of all, free games. Get 30 days of IGN Plus for just $1. Head to plus.ign.com.
IGN has the most thorough, easy-to-use, and high-tech maps out there. IGN maps load faster with more markers than ever and are built for your phone as your constant companion to the biggest games. So start checking off markers for the game you are playing today. Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help. IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. You can even track your progress with interactive checklists so you know you reached that 100% completion. IGN has the very best, most complete, and accurate guides. Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
Next year, Avowed is turning players loose in a whole new corner of the Pillars of Eternity universe.
Here to tease what's waiting for us in the Living Lands is game director Carrie Patel from Obsidian. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing that jumps out to me about this game is we've gotten a lot of open world fantasy games, and a lot of them for a long time were very sort of sepia toned, you know, a lot of browns and ochres, but this has major splashes of color everywhere. I love it. What sort of inspired this art direction? Because it feels like high fantasy.
Yeah, so big props to our project's art director.
Are we gonna switch to the
vibrancy.
to the infinite showcase? Maybe that's something a little better. We're gonna switch to that because this is tight. This is just putting me to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see what this is about. Okay, this looks kind of fire. What's this? This look kind of fire. No. Exoborn. Okay.
Hi, my name is Petter Mannefelt and I'm the creative director for Exoborn. Have you ever wondered how it would feel to have a gunfight in a tornado? At SharkMob, we've been dreaming about this for years. Exoborn is a tactical open-world extraction shooter, and it's all about mastering the apocalypse. It takes place in the US in a fictional place called Colton County. You will team up with your friends and fight the enemy players, warring factions, and even Mother Nature herself. You're a reborn, a warrior without a master, equipped with a powerful X-rig. So let's take a look.
Okay.
A great way to get advantage of your enemies is to leverage the wind, or in this case, a tornado, to gain that vertical movement and bring down death from above. These are just 2 examples of what you can expect from X-Born, but these are the moments we want you to experience. In this world, you never know what to expect, and the force of nature makes all sessions different for you and your friends. At Chornobyl, we love the tension and thrill that comes with extraction shooters. The risk to lose it all, and the satisfaction when you survive and get out alive with your friends and your loot. Like here, when the team hides behind the Kojak's shield to get out the very last second. We just completed our first large-scale closed playtest for X-Born. The feedback we have received is incredibly valuable and is helping us to balance and shape the game into something truly unique. If you're eager to be a Storm Master and fight in a tornado, give us your feedback. As we move forward, we will continue to test across more regions with more players. Wishlist X-Born on Steam and sign up for coming playtests. We can't wait to see you in Colton County soon and throw you into the heart of the storm.
Thank you, Petter. That presentation really blew us away.
Terrible joke, but excellent presentation. We can't wait to gear up and jump into X-Born with you, so make sure to wishlist the game on Steam and sign up for the upcoming playtest. I know I will be. Now, though, it's time for something completely different.
That's right. In this next trailer for Vermintide 2, Fat Shark will be bringing an entirely
I'm not gonna
new
lie,
way
boys.
to play
The
in
past
fantasy
week,
world
the entire FaZe
Warhammer.
house has low-key been crashing out on each other. So at this point, I'm sure most of you guys watching this video already know that
Vermintide 2 Versus is an adrenaline-fueled asymmetric PvP plus e-game mode for up to 8 players.
They are not Starfield or Indiana. They are not Starfield or Indiana. Not Starfield or Indiana. Play it again.
In Versus, each match features up to 3 action-packed rounds, where players switch between heroes and Packsworn. Each of the 5 heroes have multiple careers, weapons, and talents to choose from, to help you define your playstyle and bring a range of tactics to the intense battlefield. For the very first time in Vermintide, wield the weapons of the enemy. As a Packsworn player, you will pounce, gas, shoot, grab, and burn your opponents to a crisp. Plot ambushes and team strategies to stop the heroes at all costs. You will clash within the levels of Vermintide 2, now specially designed for Versus gameplay. Join the fight in Vermintide.
Okay, now this looks alright. This looks alright. This looks fun. Looks like it'd be fun to play.
There's Ratman, there's Heroes. That looks pretty fun, although it does look like it's going to be pretty hard to choose which side to play first in Versus.
Oh, and Leah, please tell me that we can work together on GTFO. Please, all 83 levels. Please, don't let me down on this.
Luna, what's going on?
Sure, it might take a while, but it's fine. And the team at 10 Chambers have been especially busy working on another exciting
I thought I'd get back to you yesterday. I was busy.
FPS heist.
Yes, Den of Wolves. So make sure you're adding to your wish list on Steam
I gotta get back to you on Discord.
Let's go to a different age now. Let's get medieval. I want to immerse myself in war strategy and build my own bases. I want historical heroes and mighty armies to create my own empires.
Yes, that sounds like
Have you here? Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you showing up. I stream pretty much every day except Sundays, but for the next few weeks, I'm probably going to stream on Sundays too. I'm just trying to cover this Gamescom conference. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of new games they're showing. This one is something different though. This is called Infinite Level Showcase. So I guess that's a certain group of developers that they're showing.
这款游戏由 Forza Horizon 与天美联合开发，我们与 Forza Horizon 拥有相同的愿景，希望通过 Age of Empires MOBO 这款游戏，让更多的用户体验到策略游戏的乐趣。
Age of Empires Mobile is a fresh take on the Age of Empires series. We've preserved the classic Age of Empires elements as much as possible, while introducing new gameplay and controls optimized for mobile devices.
What sets our game apart is its large-scale epic stage battles.
Well, Black Myth Wukong just came out.
On one screen.
I don't know if you're into like Souls-like games, but that game just dropped yesterday.
Large-scale alliance strategies with individual maneuvers.
If you're into sports, Madden's
Mobile
out.
Also caters to players who enjoy single-player adventures.
I'm playing right now. I'm playing
expand your empire independently. Delve into
Final
diverse
Fantasy VII Rebirth.
And freely explore
Persona
the vast
3
world map to gather resources.
And,
embark on
this game by
PvE
Capcom called Kunitsugami.
Intense one-on-one
so it's a lot. It's a bunch of games out there. It just depends on what you're into.
When designing civilizations,
there's a lot of games to play right now.
We conducted extensive research with Microsoft's team, including field trips and specialized discussions, to stay as true to history as possible. For example, the Roman civilization features.
So that's finally there goes your sound for your applause.
It's rich in mosaic decorations. And the Chinese civilization, with its abundant wood resources,
I don't know why it's
excels
delayed
in
like
wooden
that.
Architecture. All these factors influence the choice of materials and art style when designing the architecture of different.
Oh no, I'm doing my camera's off. I'm cleaning up while I'm streaming, so I'm moving around. So that's why my camera's not on.
Rich Citadel resources, iconic
I'm like multitasking right now.
Music and sound effects.
Age of Empires Mobile focuses more on pre-battle strategy compared to Age of Empires. Many well-known historical heroes will be fighting alongside you, carrying a diverse set of unique skills and tons of room for customization.
Yeah.
You can then.
That's what I usually do. I'm always doing something. Always doing something.
More room for creative strategies.
Age of Empires Mobile is available.
I think I told you yesterday, like I'm trying to get the
Google Play
full monetization. I gotta get the 1K subs and the 4,000 watch hours. So right now, all I can do is accept donations like super chats,
into the world of Age of Empires on mobile.
So that's like the first level.
Coming up, we'll look at the cross-platform
the
game
ad
Tara's
revenue.
Land, which is set to release
That's
its
when I can
brand
make that
new
passive
Season 1
income
in September.
that I've been trying to make.
Players will explore the vast Scardino ice field,
What is so
challenge
dark
new
and
epic
darker for
raids,
mobile? I saw that yesterday.
and face a
It
mysterious
looked alright.
frost dragon.
I guess it's
And the
worth a try,
latest
especially-
EA licensed CNC mobile
seem like a
strategy
typical
game,
mobile
Command
game.
and Conquer
It looked
Legions,
alright to
will
me.
launch
I
globally
would try it
very,
out.
very soon. Get ready for its new Red Alert season and conquer new territories.
I don't know when that game is coming out though. I think is it out already? Dark and Darker. Hats off to you, man. Yeah, it's become one of my greatest and most useful skills that I've picked up over the years. It ain't easy, but I get it done. When you be on Discord, probably after the stream. Yeah, I'll probably stream for like a couple more hours, like maybe 2-3 more hours. And then usually after I get off stream, I'll check my messages, whatever I missed from the stream, the time I was streaming. So probably like a couple hours.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Level Infinite.
Right, what's next?
Well, let's delve into the depths of the Dark Zone in Tactical Extraction FPS Arena Breakout Infinite and see what the Morphin Studios dev team have in store for us.
Hello everyone, I'm Brian, the lead game designer for Arena Breakout Infinite. I'm excited to share with you some updates. Thanks to all your support and feedback during the closed beta test in May, we have made great progress. Arena Breakout Infinite is available for early access now. You can download it from our website and play it for free. From this early access, your progression will be persistent, which means there will be no wipes. So get ready for Season 0. Season 0 is our first season. You will be able to play ranked mode and get exclusive rewards as you rank up. We are still developing the season system and will update it in the upcoming versions. We've added a new map called Armory. It's an indoor map perfect for close quarter combat. It offers an intense, exciting battle.
By the way, have you seen some ideas? No, I haven't got the time to really
if you take down a few players and have a good extraction, you will really
I'll try to get that done today.
We've also added overcast weather and are working on adding more weather types like rain and fog. We've fine-tuned basic actions like moving, sprinting, turning, jumping, and some other detailed actions. These changes are based on your beta testing feedback, and we're not done yet. Future updates will make things even smoother. We've added 11 new weapons, over 20 pieces of new gear, and more than 100 weapon mods. We hope you enjoy trying them all out and finding your favorites. We've also improved throwables, including their animations and trajectory. If your own grenades blew up in your face before, give them another try now. This early access version focuses on in-game content,
Arena
so
Breakout.
it will only have a few basic monetization services.
Okay, all right, man.
We are
See you on
working
Discord,
on cosmetics,
4 or
weapon
5.
skins, and melee weapons for the
Yeah, pretty much.
We've added kill cam, more language options, and lowered hardware requirements based on your feedback from beta testing. Stay tuned for more updates during early access by following us on social media. A big thank you to everyone for your support since our closed beta test. It's been a lot of work, but it's been well worth it. We're committed to keep updating and improving the game. See you in Kamona.
So what's the catch to it? Like, what makes it special? Is it just an arena shooter, or with a name like Arena Breakout, I'm thinking like
Can't wait to
zombies or
shoot,
something
loot, and
going on.
extract with PC players as Arena Breakout Infinite launches into early access very soon.
And now, who's ready to experience the high-octane life of a freelance bicycle messenger, or the surprisingly useful ability to transform floating islands into flying airships? Let's see what's next.
Gotcha. Season 0 looks fine. Yeah, I saw some people streaming that game. It looks cool. Like, I think I might try it out. I just want to know what makes it stand out from other shooters.
Hi there. Did you order a moderately amusing bicycle-based video game? I've got one here with colorful visuals, free-flowing gameplay, and satirical social commentary. What, you want us to come in? Oh, okay. So yeah, it's got a high-energy, thumping music soundtrack, multiplayer modes, and yeah, an expansive bike customization. Oh wait, you want it on disc? I mean, I don't actually have anything in here. It's all digital. You download it on the internet.
The time has finally arrived to squeeze into your spandex and join the gig economy in Parcel Core. Traverse a colorful world filled with equally colorful
this game was
characters
fun.
as you expand the distribution
It's like Crazy
network of
Taxi,
your
but
chosen
with
corporate
bikes.
overlords.
This game was
Let
kinda
your
fun.
silky smooth legs do the talking off and or online as you compete on the streets of New Island in a
Stream has
slew of
given me
delivery
lots of
modes and
ideas
challenges, earning
which game I should
notoriety,
play. Yeah,
prestige, and
yeah,
a
that's why I'll be
slender,
watching
modest
these
wage.
because it's like a lot of new
With a
games coming out.
totalitarian
Some of them are out
regime
already.
threatening your
Some of them are
humble
coming out
existence,
soon.
old
Some of them will be out
foes
by
will
the end of the year.
become
I
allies
like to
as
watch
you
these
join
kind of-
forces
these
to
kind of-
save
I
the
like to cover
world.
these kind of events so I can see what's coming, like when new games are coming. Allah.
You know, I didn't think the words cozy and feel good would go with survival game, but the team at Astrolabe have made it happen.
Oh yes, coming up next, we'll keep those feel-good times rolling and sprinting and jumping and dying.
Hopefully not dying. Well, it's time to run, not walk, as we check out Death Sprint 66.
Death Sprint 66 is set in 2066. There was a climate war that happened several years beforehand. Basically, the entire world's climate went crazy and everyone had to move into the Goldilocks zones. There are loads and loads of cities that have been abandoned because they're too harsh to live in or they've been flooded. And that's basic cheap real estate that Bachman can buy and put racing tracks in it.
We have a protagonist behind the scenes, and he's called Braylon Bachman. And Braylon Bachman is a wealthy tech entrepreneur, and Bachman Media Network is just one of his many companies.
The tracks themselves are bright and colourful. There's laser lights and adverts and noise and like celebration and stuff going on everywhere. And I think that's quite an interesting contrast.
We opted for near future because we quite like to leave it believable. The technology always is a little bit advanced.
It gives us so much more freedom in terms of what we do, because we can say technologically this thing is possible now. So we have like, floating traps and jump pads that boost you into the air.
We had a lot of conversations about, what technology we could envision in our world where someone is getting killed and then you're immediately respawning. We actually wanted a justification for that. What if it was an avatar that you're controlling and that respawn is effectively you severing connection with your avatar, and then the game should immediately give you a fresh clone and you dial straight into that, and so you keep running. So in terms of the track design, we wanted these to be almost like roller coasters, so lots of kind of areas where you'll slide, lots of, tight banking corners. There's a lot of lessons we brought in from experience from track design for racing cars. And then when it comes to bipedal, it's people, you don't need the width of the track, so the tracks are a little bit narrow in places. And again, that helps with a sense of speed, but it also keeps the pack together.
All right, man, bye for now. Complete
So
some
the game is a
coding.
lot of
See you in
fun when
Discord. All right, see you then. Thanks. Appreciate you pulling up.
The humanoid, the clone character, is so much more agile and small. There's a lot more interactivity that they can have with the track that a car couldn't.
You're not limited to your feet always being on the ground. You can use like every kind of dimension of the space that you're in. You can jump up and grab onto a zip line. We have jump pads that catapult you through the air at like a massive speed. So there's loads of ways that you can traverse around a level in this game.
The soundtrack, it's going to have its own custom OST. So we have a composer who's writing music for everything.
We've gone for just a sense of adrenaline, really, in the race. So the music is quite fast-paced. It remains fast-paced all the way through the race.
We also have so much going on in the game that there's moments, we need to punctuate those moments with gameplay triggers, so when you're picking up an ability, when another player's about to, smash into you or cut you with a saw blade, what you need to hear cuts through at the right moments.
Thank you so much to DeathSprint66 for showing up another great game.
Oh yes, and there's more from Digital Extremes, Warframe's next major expansion, 1999, and a peek into Soulframe's latest update. But first, some news from the realms of Nightingale.
Step forth through each portal, Realm Walker. With every challenge conquered, the Crossways reclaim their former glory. Guiding you closer to your ultimate refuge. What secrets do these ancient realms hold, hidden behind veils of mist and mystery?
Dares to show its face at night. Meet the co-star of your grand finale. What in hell?
Mitrati, devils follow you. Feel it like rain. Breathe it like wind. All of S.T.A.L.K.E.R's making is magic. So wield it. Or yield to it. Once you've learned, that is a choice only you can make. Don't you forget it. Even if they find you, even if they sing their song, the magic, it's in you. Yours. Like the wind.
Well, that was fun.
There you go.
So much to get excited about there from our Level Infinite partners. Can't wait to play the new proto frame. It's winter 2024 cannot come fast enough. Now, we've explored weather-ravaged, tactical open-world shooter Exoborn. We've sneaked a peek at some exclusive behind the scenes, and we had an absolute feast of awesome game content. I mean, what more could there possibly be?
Well, I believe we have one more surprise in store, and we promise it is absolutely worth sticking around for. You ready?
Door?
I'm very excited.
Tim, what are you doing?
Nothing. Nothing. What are you doing? Well,
Hang on.
yes.
I know exactly where we are.
Yes! Welcome to Arrakis, the most dangerous planet in the universe, covered with inhospitable deserts, ravaged by savage dust storms, and home to the most terrifying thing of all.
What?
Shai-Hulud, the giant sandworm. It's a perfect setting for Funcom's highly anticipated June Awakening.
Well, we've got a little bit of time to wait. So, while we wait, here is Joel Bylos, creative director, to give us more insight into the world of Arrakis.
Do you want to see the Hornithopter?
Absolutely!
With the war of assassins raging across Arrakis, splinter factions and bandits alike have claimed their patch of desert. One group has raised a secluded outpost in a highly defensible position, attack them from an unexpected angle with the aid of advanced tech like suspensor belts and Shigawire claws, then take them out with your deadly arsenal of weaponry. Adopt a different approach with Mentat skills and the Hunter-Seeker. Identify patrol patterns and then assassinate them, one by one. But keep in mind, the Hunter-Seeker only sees that which is in motion. You really want to establish a base on rocky ground to keep it safe from roaming sandworms. Building is freeform and made easy with friends, thanks to our hologram feature. And over time, this shelter will become a stronghold from which you can craft all manner of machines, tools, even vehicles like ground cars and ornithopters. Craft each part of your vehicle individually with additional modules to unlock, allowing you to add things like extra seats, storage, and weaponry. With a vehicle, you can explore further, seeking more valuable loot and materials. But pay attention to the vibrations that you make on the sand, because Shai Hulud is always listening. The heat of the day may be deadly, but night offers its own risks on Arrakis. S.T.A.L.K.E.R dropships patrol the desert in search of escaped prisoners, ready to put down any who run from them. The Overland map connects the various locations in the world, including large cities like Arakeen and Harko Village. Here, you can kick back in the dusty bars and seedy clubs of Arrakis, pick up contracts, visit vendors, and much, much more. Once you geared up and recruited some allies, you can venture into Imperial testing stations to discover ancient secrets that have been buried for 10,000 years. Combine your skills with your friends to create devastating combinations as you fight your way through these ancient labs. Spice is the most valuable resource in the universe, and it can only be found here on Arrakis. When a spice blow occurs, coordinate with your allies to get in and out quickly, or be prepared for a fight. For Arrakis is a test. Only the strong survive.
What an absolutely unbelievable experience there from the team at Funcom, and an absolutely unmissable game.
Definitely on my wish list, so make sure it's on yours too.
Leah, I hate to say it, but all good things must come to an end.
Does that mean there's no more interdimensional travel?
Well, yes, for now. But you can experience all of those incredible worlds again by playing the amazing games you've seen right here tonight at our Level Infinite Showcase.
That is true, Tim, and who better to thank you all for stepping into the Infinite with us than Martin?
Oh, what a show. Thank you, Leah and Tim. I'm Martin Sibyl, Head of PC and Console Global Publishing at Level Infinite. And I could not be prouder to stand here tonight following that incredible Level Infinite showcase. As you've seen, our partner studios have so much to offer the gaming world, and we are thrilled to be a part of it. Many thanks again to Leah and Tim for letting us join you on these exciting adventures. You were both out of this world. But before we end tonight, if you are here at Gamescom, we invite you to take a journey into the world of Dune Awakening, Exoborn, and many more in all 6. And thank you, wherever you are, for watching. Sign up for our Level Infinite Pass today and join our Infinite community of 50 million users and counting. Come and experience the infinite possibilities with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you so much to all of you for watching.
And be sure to scan that QR code to be in the running to win an Alienware laptop. We hope to see you in the future and you step into the infinite.
That's right, and in Hall 6 for those of you at Gamescom. We'll see you there.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.
but I built opposition to stop me from what I want to do. I did. It's kind of crazy. So they made a farming sim, but like with some action elements into it. Overthrown. Okay. Interesting.
Hey, my name is Justin Miersch, lead game and level designer for Project Z Beyond Order. Project Z is a thrilling first-person zombie shooter with robust character progression and weapon customization. Set around World War II, you will take on fast-paced missions as one of 4 survivors, each with their own unique abilities and roles in co-op, so every player can choose the character that best suits their playstyle. In Project Z, you are trying to escape the secret island Breitengrad 77, controlled by Colonel Walter, the villain in our alternative world. You start together in the Hideout, a central hub in the game where you can accept missions, buy, sell and customize weapons, as well as upgrade your character. But that's not all. You also have the option to design your hideout according to your preferences along with your friends, provided that you have found enough resources and blueprints during missions or in free roam mode. We have also put a special emphasis on adding weapons and attachments that existed as prototypes or concepts whenever possible. This gives our alternate universe a fresh twist and offers you the opportunity to constantly discover something new. Plus, it gives you a range of weapons to kill zombies with. Project Z will launch on Steam, Xbox and PlayStation, so wishlist the game today and follow our social channels for all the latest Project Z news.
This is Wild Bastards, the next roguelike strategy FPS from the team here at Blue Manchu. Each of our 13 outlaws feature unique weapons and abilities that can all be improved through the use of permanent mods we call aces. Aces can be found as you explore planets, so collect them, return to your ship and level up your outlaws.
You goddamn son of a...
There are 3 types of aces. Charged aces that apply a specific bonus when your outlaw is rested or charged. Core aces that unlock specific traits for your character. The majority of aces you discover let you choose one of 3 special traits to level up your outlaw. So you might be able to leap onto roofs with Roswell.
Now, where were we?
Let's take a look at Preach. So starting at level 2, we have 1 ace. Faith. This takes our armor to 0 but increases health by 80. This is Preach at level 2. Her Gatling gun's got a slow spin up time and there's a bit of spread on her fire, so you really have to concentrate on enemies to be effective. But let's see what happens when we level her up. First choice I'm going to make is Healer. So Preach is going to recover 100 health and she's also going to give her partner 100 health after a showdown. Next, Brimstone looks great with its burning damage, sharding so that now she gets explosive damage as well on each of her bullets. Powered Gatling to reduce that spin up time we looked at earlier. And lastly, just to focus on the damage, I'm going to go with Shooter Plus to give me 40 extra ammo. Let's take her for a spin. The combination of explosive rounds, burning, faster spin up, more ammo, means that I can easily handle any of these enemies. Now that we've looked at aces, which are how you permanently level up your outlaw, they will also work in combination with mods which you collect and use per sector. In this case, I've given Preach some homing bullets and a jetpack.
My soul is armored in righteousness. These boys is just dressing up.
Damn if I can't look away. I'm getting my boots on.
Well, that just about wraps us up for day 1 of Gamescom here on IGN. If you missed any of our gameplay deep dives, trailers, interviews, all that good stuff, go check out IGN.com and IGN's YouTube page and get up to speed on all the biggest stuff going on here at Gamescom.
But before we go, would you like to discover the contents of Gamescom and receive cool rewards at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, well then check out Gamescom Epics. Prove your nerd know-how, solve tricky puzzles, gather the digital trading cards, and jump from level to level until the final boss spawns. Solve all the quests and grab all the fantastic rewards, search for Gamescom epics, or scan the QR code on the screen and the adventure can begin.
I can't wait. And if you need something to look forward to, we've got another full day of awesome video game coverage tomorrow, where we'll be sitting down with the folks behind Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, plus checking in on the massive new sequel, Kingdom Come Deliverance. After that, we'll be shooting across the galaxy to check in on Star Wars Outlaws, and then we're heading into the heart of Chornobyl with Stalker 2. All that and so much more right here on Gamescom Studio.
But for now, thank you all so much for watching IGN's live coverage of Gamescom 2024. We can't wait to see you back here tomorrow.
IGN Store has it all. From clothes and collectibles to vinyl records, accessories, model kits, and action figures from the biggest and best franchises like The Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, Fallout, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. Whatever your pop culture passion, you're guaranteed to find something you love. There are new and exciting products hitting the store every week, like the Wasteland-ready Fallout Vault 33 hoodie, which pairs perfectly with the working wearable Pip-Boy. Plus, high-quality IGN Store exclusives like the powerful and spicy Star Wars Darkside Hot Sauce by Truff. We've even got merchandise for you to rock while tuning in to the IGN shows and podcasts you love. Or cap off a long day by relaxing to the soundtracks of your favorite video games, like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us. And the best part? You don't even need to leave the house to go there. Just head to store.ign.com and start shopping today. The IGN Store.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
But yeah, I'm liking the game so far. It's cool. It's all right. I'm not blown away, but it is a solid game so far. Let's get back into it. If you just coming into the stream and you wondering where I'm at, I'm still towards the beginning of the game. I've beaten like 4 bosses, I think, 3 or 4. Hold up. Let me see if there's something with the spells or something. What is this? Set spells. Only got 2 so far. I'm poor. What does this mean? Reignite the sparks. Reclaim all sparks. What the fuck? Oh, is that respecking? That's respecking. Okay, I don't want to respec. Stable performance. I would say it's been, for the most part, the first performances I experienced was that last
think that's all the coverage we're gonna get for today. I think that's it. My son got his own signature guitar just from playing guitar in his fucking bedroom. That is tough. I know he has a group and he puts out music and shit, but he's largely known off of his YouTube videos. Got his own signature guitar with a guitar company. Like, that is insane. With a major guitar company too, Ibanez. You goated. That nigga goated. I'm trying to see, is there anything else going on? Let me see. Yeah,
Kevin
Prince's,
Gates,
man.
That is Kevin Gates.
Look, stop playing with me, bro.
My bad. Wait. Can you just say King and pull real quick? Kevin Gates. What the Kevin Gates? Come on, man. Oh, that hurt. What the real quick? Kevin Gates. What the Kevin Gates? Come on.
Look, stop playing with me, bro.
My bad. Wait. Can you just say King and pull real quick?
Wait, you want to say what?
Wait. Can you just say King and pull real quick? My bad. Wait. Can you just say King and pull real quick?
Oh, the bleep was too long. I couldn't make out what he was saying.
Kevin Gates.
Smack the shit out of him. You stupid.
Kevin
Stupid
Gates.
nigga, you lucky that's all he
Come on,
did.
man. Oh, that hurt. What the heck, Kevin? I didn't appreciate that, Kevin. That hurt a lot. Kevin Gates just assaulted me. Ouch. That is Kevin Gates, bro. Nigga, I just got punched by Kevin Gates. That's low-key.
As you should have, because you beat him.
There, boy. I ain't raised you to be like that. I ain't raised you to be like that, boy. Hey, you just walk over. Hey, how you doing? I'm Kevin. I didn't want anything. I just was coming to say hello. Simple and gangster. That's it. That's all. Come on, man. I ain't raised you to be like that, boy.
I ain't raised you to be like that.
Hey, don't let me never hear nothing about you doing no that again, boy. It's all good, baby. Players too. Mistakes make us great. Learn from your mistakes. Don't make them no more. I'm about to go in the gym. You heard me? You know, I don't want to have this talk with you again. I love you. All right, my nigga.
Oh, yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman.
Nah, I'll watch this off for stream. This is not games related, and I got Gamescom as the title. Fuck. I think that's GG's. Ain't shit else popping off right now. Everything announced. Everything else done. Xbox is done. What you call this done? Hold on, let me check my watch time on this. I might could be done for the day. Well, at least for right now. I don't want to deceive people. Yeah, that's it for today, I suppose. That's Gamescom day 2. Let me check the Xbox page again. Xbox. Yep, that's day 1, opening day, and day 1 in the books. And then tomorrow at 9 is day 2. Let me check IGN because I think they're probably doing like a pre-show or some shit, so I can know what time I gotta get up tomorrow to catch everything. Day 2. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Yeah, so I'll be up at 9 tomorrow. Well, I'll get up at 8 so I could be set up already. Yeah, okay, that's how it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna go, okay. Let's see if any of the homies are streaming. Gamescom, GameSpot. Oh, GameSpot is live. What are they talking about? Well, they were live. Yeah, everybody just got off live just now. Well, they got Speed and Kai playing Minecraft. I guess I could put that up for a little bit.
Right, Ironite. You know what I'm saying? Nah, there's too much gold to fucking. I got too much gold to furnace, but I'll at least get some new food.
Alright, God bless y'all. How y'all doing? Noob, what's going on, bro? I just finished watching all of the Gamescom stuff. I was just about to get off too.
Yeah, you're right. I can't.
I was about to get off stream. I might stream later tonight. Cause it is still pretty early, and I'm off today, so I'll probably stream.
How we looking, chat? How we looking?
I'll probably get on some Persona tonight.
So far, so good.
For a few hours.
So far, so good, bro. Mineshaft. Did you go through this Mineshaft or not?
It's probably. I think that's the one I've seen. Is it one that's outside?
Minecraft. Now I'm watching Speed and Kai play it. They trying to play it. They're trying to beat it.
We in two different Mineshafts right now.
I'll probably stream. I'll probably stream Persona.
Pretty solid right now.
Persona 3. I haven't played that in a while.
They said in the warden, bro, there's an OP chest. I low-key might. What if I just like learn?
Oh, you will die. It's harder than. It's arguably like up there with the.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get off now.
If I like learn them out though.
Chill for a little bit and then get on Persona 3 tonight.
It's a big ass boss. I know you're not ready for that, bro. Just trust me when I say that. Cause I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
We're not ready.
So yeah, I'll probably get on like around my usual time, like 8. But I'll probably be done a little earlier. Probably get off like 11. Cause I already did the stream today. So
that was harder, the warden or the Ender Dragon?
Cool, I got my notifications on. That's weird sometimes. Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me like the notifications is not popping up, and that's kind of pissing me off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
It's like you're not telling my people when I'm on. The point for y'all subscribing and clicking the bell so that y'all can get notified when I'm on.
But games always do that. Like good games always do that.
But I'm telling you now, I'll be on like around 8ish, maybe a little earlier.
Boss in the game that's always.
So just you got your notifications on. If not, then around 7, 8 o'clock, just check in and see if I'm on, which I probably will be. Hashtag fix YouTube facts. Hashtag fix YouTube big facts. I'm gonna be uploading some shorts. I'm gonna be uploading a bunch of shorts, so your notifications might go crazy in the next couple hours because I'm gonna be uploading a bunch of shorts from the past stream. Because I want to get my views up and then I want to get my subs up. I usually get a lot of subscribers when I post my shorts up from my stream.
Alright, I'm not waiting for all this gold.
So yeah. Alright, so I'll catch y'all boys later. I'll be back on later.
Time to
Persona.
go.
Yabba dabba do.
Yabba dabba do.
Yabba dee bop.
People love shorts, yeah.
Where? Diamond where?
I just put up a short.
Diamond where?
A couple days ago. It's already got 400 views. Right, but yeah, later. I'll see you later, bro.
I came from here.
And stream. How do you get in this shit again?
I came from here.